Happy holidays and welcome back to the 4th episode of the Champions of Virtue podcast. If you're new to the series, welcome. Be sure to watch the previous episodes to keep up to date. If you're a return listener, thank you so much for coming back. All of us are greatly appreciative and are so happy you've chosen to listen to us yet again. Stay connected with the series by following the hashtag champsofvirtue on Twitter and let us know what you think. And of course, before we start, a quick refresher. The group safely escorted Kallista's mother Diana back to her home in Forsen. For their time and effort, they were able to procure favor with Diana as well as her second-in-command Chandra. They then decided to return to the now abandoned city of Bryarden and claim it as their own. After bringing Kindra's father Roscoe to the city, the team spent a month repairing as much as they could and make the city habitable for the first time in many years. During their reconstruction, Lau's mentor Elowyn Brightwillow, a cantankerous, crotchety halfling, appeared to check up on her young student. Elowyn taught the group of the Feywild, the land of eternal twilight, and the birthplace of the elven race. The party discovered a portal to the other dimension within the large central tree of Bryarden, and decided to wait until morning before setting foot into the Feywild. However, during the night, a thief managed to steal John's amber ring of compassion and use it as a way to get into the Feywild. Now the champions of virtue must travel into the Feywild themselves, find the thief, and discover what truly lies in this other dimension. As you step in to the city, the first thing you realize is that the cool late autumn temperatures that you have become accustomed to in the city of Bryarden, as you've been working on it, has changed. It's become much warmer now. It feels almost like a summer's evening, balmy, a slight breeze in the wind. The breeze feels warm against your skin. And as you look around, you see that the entire landscape is tinged with reds and oranges and indigos and violets. As you look to the sky, you see that the sky is an almost constant twilight. The sun stays in the same place just beyond the horizon at about a quarter set. You feel the grass on your feet and hitting up against your calves. The grass is very tall, lush green. It doesn't quite glow, but it shimmers like waves of water. You can feel the warmth kind of filling you and this odd sense of unease being in this new environment. The ground is soft. The wind is rushing past you. You can hear the faint trill of some insect or bird or creature somewhere in the distance. The trees are tall, bright, and verdant. And seem to almost glow with like starlight in the leaves. You were given information by Elowyn that there is a city toward the northwest, where in your material world, in the material plane, where the hills of Kalemthar were, that there would be a city in that direction in the Feywild. You're not in school.
I know, but you're like doing a whole. I don't want to. I write down what day it is first.
Okay.
We wrote it down before we came in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're already in there.
Okay. I know, because I know that she said to write down what day it is, but I don't remember anyone saying, we write down what day it is.
For all intents and purposes, we'll say it's Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday what?
The 14th.
Of what month?
Fuck you.
What year?
Yeah.
What year is it?
Yeah, because what if we got the date right, but not the year right?
Yeah, what if we show up on Thursday the
14th.
14th.
40 years later.
Well, then you'll have to find out.
It's like there's cars now.
We'll say it's,
well, we have written record of it.
Yes.
What time
We
did
left
you
on a
leave?
Thursday.
You left in the morning.
Okay.
You're walking out here double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, like the sun is out.
Is it like a
Elowyn?
numbers?
E-L-O-W-E-N.
Oh, E-O.
Elowyn.
No, it's like remember when we were walking and then the woods just kind of
Wow,
showed
I
up
made
and then
it
you
too
made the
more
thing
than
with the
this.
tree in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of which, Rogar, as you step in, you do feel this kind of this sense of invigoration. You feel like you've woken up like slightly more. You stand a little straighter. You feel a tingling in your hand that has been now turned into a wooden like color.
my hand
Yeah.
turned into a click.
Yeah.
The one that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I got stabbed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, is his hand wood or is it wood in color?
It's like dark brown.
Oh, I thought
Okay,
it turned
but
into
like
I
wood.
thought it was a wooden
it's still
hand.
like-
No, it's not like a hand. It's still functions.
Wait, this is gonna be the pirate squad. We need to get you a pirate Haswell and an
We're
iPad.
not pirates.
Why not?
You
Has
got
a
no
wooden
eye.
hand.
He has a wooden hand.
Exactly.
He doesn't have a wooden
Flank's
hand.
probably gonna lose a leg at some point.
I
Yeah.
have hooks for legs.
You want a hook for like?
Yeah.
Like in Kingsman.
You can do like
Oh,
This is the
gazelle.
sword
like
legs.
gazelle.
Sword leg.
You can
I'm
do that
Gazelle.
with hooks.
Oh, that was actually
I'm
really
Gazelle.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly Flank's as tall as the rest of us. It's half height.
So, like,
He's 50% sword.
We're trying to stealth somewhere, but
Dexterity saving throw, you open a door. Make a dexterity saving throw.
You look around at the environment around you. Toward the north, you see these long stretches of grassland where on the other side of the tree you stepped into, it's all dense forest. Now it is wide open grassy plains. The grass tall, some coming up to your calf and higher. So between maybe 1 and 2 feet tall grass just swaying like ocean waves.
Can we still see Flank?
Yeah, you can see fine. He's fine.
can I roll around in it?
Yes, it feels very nice. The ground is warm. The breeze is nice. You don't feel anything crawling on you. You just make these like furrows in the grass as you
so
keep
it's like
rolling around.
warmer here, right? Than when
Yes.
we left.
It feels and looks like a summer's evening.
They know what they're about in here.
The sky is ablaze in indigos and violets and reds. You see these large expanses of stars twinkling in the sky. As you look around from the north where you see the grasslands, you see the grassland keeps trailing around as you look toward the east. And once you start looking southward, you see that the grass starts to get a little bit lower, and you see that the ground starts to sink downward a little bit. And far off in the distance, you see that the grasslands have kind of turned into like marshy swamps, fens, huge stretches of ponds, water, all toward the south. And then toward the northwest, you see hills in the distance. So, what do you want to do?
We needed to go north, right?
it was like northwest.
Okay.
Do
So-
any of us know anything about the inhabitants of the Feywild?
Can I see? So as soon as the ring was stolen, we
yeah, can
went
you
in,
use
right?
Find object?
Yeah, I was gonna try doing locate object.
Okay. That's usually within about 1,000 feet. So you sense the ring, you imagine it in your mind, you can picture it very clearly, and it doesn't feel like it's within that 1,000-foot radius.
God, they fucking took off.
Well, how fast are they?
1,000 feet is like less than a quarter mile, so you can probably clear that in a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's not that
Okay,
far.
do we have any idea in which direction?
I mean, northwest.
Can we sense it? You know how like when we use the amulet and it like, you know.
Roll is mine, right? So
Yeah.
can I sense it?
You concentrate very carefully about the sensation of the ring, and you don't feel much, but you feel a very slight pull, a slight tug, almost like a memory being recalled in a distant area, and it's toward the northwest where you were set to go anyway.
Okay, Aaron. Let's go.
Okay,
Just
northwest it is.
So you
Right direction.
so immediately John just books it as fast as he can,
John, stay with the group.
and the rest of you try to follow suit.
Spammy group up. Group up.
I need healing.
Wait,
I need healing.
Scammers
They
would
get
constantly
mad
be
if we
like, "Group
smoke
up,
weed
group up with
in
me.
the Feywild.
Group up with me.
You don't
Can
know.
we smoke weed with the people of the Feywild?
Oh, we haven't seen anybody yet.
Okay, but when we do.
This is for
As-
future reference.
Yeah.
Asking for.
So John, you're first ahead. Who is next behind?
I'll run after him, I guess.
John.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll go after them.
Kindra, Damaris, or our flank, Kallista. Okay, so you all run quick at a solid pace toward the northwest. You see the grass you can feel the grass hitting up against your sides. It's very dense. You can see the footsteps being made into the grass. The hills kind of go up and down, very slight inclines, very small hills, but kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. And as you keep running, John, you keep looking straight forward, and then as you're running, you look after maybe about 10 or 15 minutes of running, so about maybe a mile or so. You look down for a second to kind of see where you're running, and immediately you stop. You pull back as you see that the grassland just immediately cuts off into this huge ravine. Looks deep, this deep chasm furrowed into the ground. The rest of you all see John stop, and you all stop as well. You see this long, maybe 40, 50, 60 foot long chasm in the ground. It's about maybe 6 feet across, and that seems to just drop down toward darkness. And that's not the most surprising thing.
Oh.
As the rest of you look around, you kind of lean over to see if you can see down into the chasm, and it seems just to drop off into just complete darkness. You look up and see what's across, and you see what appears to be a large, slumbering, bright gold dragon. It's on the other side. Its scales shining in the twilight, glistening. This bright bronze gold colored.
How big is it?
Is it bigger than the...
It's pretty big.
Have we taken one like that before?
It is slightly smaller than the white dragon you have faced before.
We can do it.
No.
What if it's actually made
No.
of gold? And, like, it can't be pierced anymore?
It's gonna
No.
shapeshift and it's gonna be fucking Cornelius.
So that's at the end.
How big is this chasm?
It's about maybe 60 or 70 feet
Oh,
long.
okay, yeah, we're not doing that.
Can we somehow...
And it's about maybe
No, we're going.
and it's about maybe 6 feet across. 7 feet.
Can we ride the dragon?
You'd have to get over the.
Can I do pass
Wait,
without
how-
a trace? We'll just...
You can. As you all stop and you pull back after seeing the dragon, you
Covering John's mouth.
okay. Okay, that's a food. What are your passive perceptions? It's usually 10 plus your perception modifier.
14.
It's plus it, not just this?
Yeah, it's whatever that is. Yeah,
This one.
Oh
10.
Yeah.
shit!
Oh.
I have to change that because I'm
Oh.
proficient in it now.
I don't know.
it's
10.
just 10.
What's 10 plus your...
It's 10 plus perception.
14.
14,
10?
10,
11.
11,
15.
15.
15.
Okay, so you all hear this little sound kind of in the distance, just across the ravine, near the dragon. You hear this kind of.
Oh, it's her. Is she the dragon?
No, it doesn't seem to be coming from the dragon itself. It seems to be coming
Oh, she's
nearby.
next to... Oh, fuck.
Someone's gonna fuck with the dragon.
She's gonna fuck with the
Here
dragon.
you go. Here you go.
Can't we watch them fuck up with the dragon? Wait, what?
We should do pass without a trace and then watch.
No,
Okay.
someone's gonna provoke the fucking dragon over there.
Then we pass without a trace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I cast
Okay.
pass without a trace.
Now let's get the hell out of here.
Is there, yeah, let's just do that.
Can we find an alternate route?
It seems like the other routes are kind of far away, and the way the grasslands kind of work, they kind of funnel in the direction of the dragon.
You fucking kidding
Hold
me?
on, can I see the person making the noise, or can I just hear it?
Make a perception check.
19.
Okay. You see. Okay.
Let's go.
A bigger dragon.
You look and you see it's like a 15,000 foot tall dragon. No. Okay, so from the area you hear this little snickering laughter. You look in the grass and you see kind of hidden in this little slightly tipped over uprooted tree, hiding in the hollowed out stump, is this little tiny, what appears to be slightly smaller than Zuzur, a small dragon-like creature. Its wings are kind of folded in and has this big grin on its face. It's smiling.
I want to cast Hunter's Mark on it because
Okay.
I want to know where it's, because it's like she wants to stay and watch, but everybody's like, we gotta go, so she wants to watch
Okay.
in whatever way she can.
Okay. So you cast your mark on it, you stare at it, and you realize that this is what appears to be a fairy dragon. A small subsection of dragons that are primarily native to the Fae, that are mostly troublemakers, tricksters, and have been known to cast magic before.
Can I get one as my pet?
They're also not known for being
I was
particularly
gonna ask the same
nice-ish,
Oh.
but they're not known
You
as
guys
to be.
can't kidnap fairy dragons.
They're also not known to, they're known to be fairly intelligent and not necessarily hostile, but they are very tricky.
They're not
Can I
pets.
hold up my wood arm and see if it gets any reaction from it?
You kind of hold your hand out. It doesn't seem to have any effect on the area.
Well, no, on the fairy dragon.
You kind of hold out toward it. It doesn't seem to take notice.
Well, has it seen us or?
We're on
It
pets
doesn't-
without a trace.
It seems to be looking in your general direction. Even before you pass out a trace, it seems to probably noticed you here. Let's see. So it's still kind of laughing. You hear the smallest little snickering kind of behind it, deeper into the log.
We should go.
We're walking.
So you're just walking around the ravine.
Yeah.
How long is it again?
Only 60, 70 feet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's just walk around
That's
it.
not horrible.
Okay. So as you make your way around, you kind of skirt toward the... Kindra, I need you to make a dexterity save.
Over 20. It's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Okay. So as you kind of keeping an eye on the hollowed out log, you keep walking kind of toward the edge of the ravine, and the rest of you know. Let's see, Lau, you turn to kind of see where everyone else is, and you notice that Kindra seems to be walking not along the edge of the chasm, but on the over the chasm. Kind of like how Wile E. Coyote would run over a cliffside and kind of stand there for a second.
Just walk across it.
Wow.
Alright, let's go.
As you cross over it, you realize that it's just more grassland, and then you finally hear from the hollow out log just.
I was gonna throw a rock into the thing, but
It seems to be an illusion.
I thought it was using the dragon as an illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the dragon was an illusion. I don't think the ravine would be.
As you cross over the ravine, you hear the laughing, and then from that laughing, you kind of see the dragon head kind of rustle a little bit,
okay, I guess
and it
that's
kind
real.
of picks its head up, and as you keep walking, you kind of walk a little faster. The dragon kind of picks its head up and looks around, and it kind of sees you walking, and you see this big huff of fire coming out of his mouth.
Can I use invisibility?
Yeah, wait, so I guess pass without a trace.
Well, because you weren't making stealth, you were just walking.
Oh.
You cast invisibility on myself. As the dragon kind of picks itself
Oh,
up,
fine.
you see its wings just kind of flap itself into the air, and it makes this loud roaring sound as it flies toward you, just kind of headlong into you. You all kind of duck, and it just whoosh, goes right through you and disappears into dust. And there's more and a larger eruption of laughter from the hollowed out stuff.
This bitch.
This bitch.
Very
I
funny.
wasted fucking invisibility on this.
That still wasn't so bad.
Can I laugh back?
Sure.
Keep watching.
As you look, you can see. Coming out of the stump are two small dragon-like creatures. Their wings are actually more kind of like butterfly wings. They're very wide and like very thin,
Out of
gossamer
your
like.
bright wing.
And you hear them just kind of laughing at you as they fly away.
They flew away.
They're kind of flying around you guys, like kind of in like a tight, not in a kind of wide circle, circling around you, just kind of laughing at you guys.
Everyone wondered why I
I
didn't
want
want
it
to
as
come
a
here.
pet.
Can I
They're just harmless pranks.
pull out like some food from my ration box and just hold it up to them? See
Sure.
if they'll eat it.
You kind of hold out like a piece of meat, and one of them kind of very tentatively flies down and just swoops it out of your hand. And you hear, as it's kind of flying out, you hear in Draconic, "Thanks, chump." Flies out.
Great.
So at least you can understand it.
Don't feed the locals. They're like pigeons.
Yeah, don't. They're gonna start following
You
us.
will literally see a sign, do not feed these fuckers.
Do not feed the fairies. But more importantly, don't accept food from fairies.
You see that as they're flying around, that they're both very dark blue colored. One's slightly more indigo bluish, and one's more violet colored. Kind of flying around.
How is Zuzu reacting to them?
Zuzu
Does
is
he
not happy. His back is arched. His eyes like
Hissing.
wide.
The little spines on his back are standing up.
You see him. You see like he's about to kind of take off and attack them. Just hold him close.
Angry cat noises.
Yeah.
Fuck
Just
you.
yowling.
Can you take him on? Probably, maybe.
He's bigger than them.
Bigger doesn't necessarily mean
He's
stronger.
gonna get his
Yeah,
ass
we
kicked.
killed some pretty big things.
Yeah, so they kind of follow you as you keep walking around.
Why'd you feed them?
He's trying to be nice.
Rogar, as you're walking, you just hear them kind of just laughing around as they circle around you, just calling you idiots and suckers. And then you hear them like, wait, no, he can give us more food. Shh. And they keep flying around.
They're mostly harmless. That's not so bad. The way you made it sound, it's like things will kill us at every second, just like in the Underdark. But this is fine.
Oh yeah, loud. Compared to the Underdog, this is Disneyland. It's fine.
Yeah, it's very pretty here.
You walk for maybe another 20, 30 minutes or so. Rogar, you feel this kind of like thump on your shoulder, and you see one of the dragons kind of staring at you. It's got this big, wide, toothy grin. And he's like, "You got any more food?" He's speaking in Draconic, mind you, so no one else can hear what he's saying.
Is it the one I fed or is it the other one?
It's the other one. This is the violet one.
He's being a dick, don't feed him.
Can we ask them, like, do they know anything?
You could try. They apparently aren't smart enough to talk to you.
Talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay. How about a barter, I say in Draconic?
Ooh, this one's smart. You see the other kind of little fairy dragon land on your other shoulder. It's like, you wish to bargain?
Yes.
Oh, we'll bargain. What do you have? Do you have any treasure?
I have some more tasty meat for you. You tell us there's...
The violet one kind of turns to the indigo one. It's like, is that kind of treasure?
Oh god, they're stupid.
Nobody else understands. Not even.
No one speaks Draconic.
Oh, that was
I meant to speak Draconic, but I put Infernal.
Oh, I see.
I can turn on my hat.
Uh,
I'm not smart enough to turn on my hat.
you get to ever actually use that for anything.
I've used it a few times, but no.
It only helps you understand. It doesn't help you speak it.
I know. I can just be like, Rogar, tell them to fuck off or something. Yeah. Here, give them this vile acid and tell them it's food.
Do not.
They just like burst into flames. Like giving salt to snails.
You think their stomachs would just melt?
In exchange for some meat, can you tell us if there's any dangers or anything we should watch out for in that direction? I'm pointing to the northwest.
It's like, that's where the elves live. Danger, danger, no danger. Maybe die, no danger.
Maybe die.
The elves are nice. They feed us sometimes. They give us little trinkets.
Okay. So, as they're telling me this, I'm translating this to the rest of the group. Alright, and then I'll give them a piece of meat and then I'll just pet them on the head.
Oh.
They're gonna keep following you.
It's like, thanks, sucker. And they fly off for a little bit. Watch out for the big black monsters.
What they say, Rogar?
I translate what they just said.
Okay.
You know what they said.
He has to turn the helmet
I
on.
haven't turned it on yet. I'm not smart enough to turn my helmet.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
He said there's more of your favorite people that way.
So you keep walking about maybe another 2 or 3 hours or so. As you're walking, you notice that the sun has yet to actually set. It just seems kind of set. It seems kind of locked in place at about a quarter set in the horizon.
Is it still the like grasslands over there?
The grasslands have kind of tapered out a little bit toward more trees are kind of growing in the area. What were originally like small shrubs and little errant trees are connecting now to a slightly larger foresty area, but it's still small patches of forest land, and it's still primarily grass. As you keep walking, you see small ponds where the fairy dragons kind of stop and drink. You see little small animals drink, just little things like squirrels and stuff like
Do I
that.
notice any birds in the area?
Make a perception check.
25.
You see God. No,
In
you
the sky.
Pointing and laughing at you.
your elf eyes see much.
What do your elf eyes see?
You see in the distance, kind of
Taking the
toward.
elf's eyes?
Or your one elf eye.
Yeah, your one.
Oh.
Actually, no, you have disadvantage. Perception check.
I rolled a nat 20.
No.
Come on.
No, you have disadvantage on perception
You roll
checks
that
based
20
on
on your
vision.
bad eye, not to roll it on your good eye.
20?
11.
Oh.
Your good eye isn't that good.
You're able to see some
Fucking 20.
some smaller birds. Nothing of particular interest. They kind of fly around. Maybe they catch some of smaller insects in the area. And you do see that you're getting slightly closer to the mountain area. One of the strange things you notice about the Feywild is it seems that not only does time seem to be set, that distance kind of fluctuates a little bit. Because you've made this walk to Kalimthar before. You know how long it takes. Where normally it takes a few days to get there, you seem to be getting closer and closer by the hour. It seems that that space kind of like compresses and pulls like an accordion.
Wes Damer's laying on his face.
I've just given up on the world.
Damage just lies face down on the grass. Just go on without me. I live here now.
Can we feel when it like compresses and when it expands?
No, it's strange. It's kind of screwing with your perception slightly, where it's like looking far off in the distance, and you feel like you've judged that distance correctly and how long you can walk. It will take for you to walk, but then as you're walking, your sense of time, it's almost like you're mildly disassociating, so you don't realize how far you've walked. But it's in like real time. So it's like if you're trying to get to a tree that's maybe 400 feet away, you know that usually takes about maybe 5 minutes, and then you make a note to remember how long it takes to get to that tree, and you get to that tree, in about 60 seconds. But then you make another mark in the distance where it's like, I'm going to try and get to this bush over here, which should take maybe 25, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and it takes about 5 minutes to get there.
Ooh.
It doesn't feel quite like you're walking in place, but it feels like you're walking longer or shorter than you should be.
Smoke weed.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll help.
Okay.
You kind of light up from your pipe for a little bit, and the colors are so nice. The colors are so nice here. The trees are all dark emerald green. They're almost kind of like filigree with gold on the outside, and they shimmer as you walk past. And you know the trees are getting slightly more frequent, and they're getting thicker over time. And you walk for maybe about, say, 6 or 7 hours, during which the sun has yet to move at all. There seem to be very few clouds in the sky. As you continue to walk, you realize that you're getting closer to the hills as the ground starts to the ground starts to lift upward. And as you walk toward kind of the base of the mountain, you see the trees are getting denser and denser and turning into an actual proper forest that seem to line the mountain itself. And as
Have we been in here for longer than an hour in the forest?
I'd say so, yeah.
Oh, wait. I remember.
Favorite terrain.
I remember I have an hourglass.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I don't know how much good that's really gonna.
Does that thing have like maybe 3 minutes on it or something?
I can keep track of time.
Every 3 minutes?
Unless it doesn't work like that.
Hey, yo, guys, it's been 3 minutes again. 3 minutes?
I have one
Thank you,
fancy
3 minutes.
hourglass, but you didn't tell me, like, how much time it keeps.
Probably
Like,
an hour.
It probably marks about 5 minutes.
It's an hourglass.
I mean, do you want the big ass fucking hourglass?
Hey, Dammers, I got this fancy time taker madingy. I think it's called an hourglass. How much time does it take?
I'd assume an hour.
For an hourglass?
We're all wrong.
Okay, I'll believe that.
And then we're gonna argue, has 5 minutes passed or an hour passed?
Goddamn, I'm gonna turn this goddamn party around.
Gonna forget how many times we've turned that over.
I'm standing there trying to play with my hourglass.
As you continue to walk, you do start getting into a more foresty area. The trees start to inhibit the light a little bit, so it gets a little bit dimmer. But as you're walking, you see that through the kind of dense darkness of the trees, the dark oak wood of the trees and this dark emerald leaves, you see this very faint, kind of light bluish glow at the very far off in the distance as you're walking. So you're in the forest right now.
In the direction
In the direction.
the city's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Alright.
So you want to do?
Head towards it.
All right. Okay. As you walk toward it, you make your way toward the light. As the trees kind of break and you see what's actually beyond it and see what's causing the light, before you can actually react to it, you hear the sound of like shuffling feet, and before you're able to turn around, all of you feel the sharp, cold steel against your neck. As you look around, you see several long, almost golden brown hair.
Oh, we found the elves.
Elven, mostly men and some women, clad in very heavily detailed armors, holding spears and swords like directly to your necks.
I'd like to formally greet them in Elven.
Okay.
I say, hello, my friends.
Dammers, Kindra, are these friends of
I'm
yours?
gonna say nothing. My body speaks for itself.
Yeah. You notice you have actually about 2 spear tips against your neck.
And I'll tell them that my companions and I come in peace.
the one pointing its spear at you is like, "Who are you?"
My name is Damaris.
Kind of whispers to another one. He kind of grabs you by your face and pulls you close. Kind of looks at your one good eye. Whispers over.
Yeah, he's cute.
No, well, fuck that. Now they don't like me. I'm not pretty anymore.
You may pass through, son of the Damaris clan.
I think so.
So that's
He kind of stops you. He's like, and he kind of points his spear over to Lau's. Like, is your prisoner?
He's with me.
Kind of looks at you.
I'm keeping my hands up. If I put them down, I'm gonna have 6 spear holes in me.
I pull out a little closer to me.
Very well.
I do not represent my people.
Drow lives matter.
This drow is under my protection.
You make your way through, and you see that this troop of maybe 8 to 12 elven guards are kind of maybe about 5 or 6 feet behind you, just kind of keeping pace behind you. As you walk through, and you see that the trees have kind of cleared up, and you see you've gotten to the point at like the base of the mountain where it starts to kind of shoot upward, and you see that the first thing you see is one incredibly large tree, about maybe what seems to be like 20 feet wide in diameter, 30 feet wide in diameter. It seems to rocket upward at a slight angle, maybe like a 47-degree angle.
What do your tree eyes see?
Maybe don't call attention to yourself yet.
As it runs kind of up and along the mountain. You see that the tree is, and the first thing you see that this large tree has what appear to be stairs kind of built into it, kind of wrapping around and upward. And you see up maybe 20, 25 feet up in the air, a large canopy tree, what can only be a tree fortress at this point. Tree house doesn't quite describe it.
That's what we have.
Built
have one
around the
too.
trees. You see that it's lined with this glowing blue light.
Ours looks a lot cooler.
We'll get
ours will get there.
Take
We
notes.
just
Somebody
need to
take
decorate.
notes.
take architectural notes.
Sketch it.
Yeah.
I see that a lot of the tree seems to be hollowed out to make passageways to walk through and up it.
Exactly. That's what I was saying the entire time. Hollow out the tree, make walkways, use it to its full potential.
You
And
didn't
you
say
see-
anything like
That's
that.
exactly what I said. Did you even look at the diagram?
That's
Did you even look at the
You wanted
diagram?
a fucking Shark Tank.
I think it was an alligator pit.
Yes, it has. It does. It has.
You wanted
that.
an
the hell's an
underground
alligator
hideout. You didn't
again?
want to hollow out the
Well,
tree.
we could also hollow out the tree and make it like a office space on top and
Yeah,
like
but
a
that's-
secret base in the bottom.
But
Are
that's
the
not
elves
what
doing
you were
this?
saying the whole time.
That's
They're
exactly
here
what
decorating.
That's what you're saying right now.
I said
You
that.
notice as you're arguing that a lot of the elves are kind of looking in your general direction because you are all very clearly talking above the average noise level here.
This is beautiful, guys. Great job.
You see,
I'm gonna tell one of the nearest elves that he really appreciates their architecture.
Doesn't John speak Elvish?
Yeah, I do.
okay, so if you're speaking in
Yeah,
Elvish,
You
it's fine.
actually know that.
Yeah.
Sir. Exclusive.
You turn to one of the guards and he just kind of looks at you like,
Can I just fist bump him like,
he leans back and doesn't
hey,
quite.
hey.
No, I
No,
show.
Yeah, I go. Boom.
Can't hold his hand out.
Yes! My boy. I love this guy. He's my favorite.
He
Look,
looks
this
around
guy-
to the other guards.
Hardest working guy in the world, I swear to God. Like, I tell him, like, you know I say this. I'm like, this guy specifically is my favorite guy.
He kind of turns to the other guards. It's like they all nod and they just sort of disperse back into the woods and leave.
He'll be in his thoughts for the rest of the day, I'm sure.
You
They forgot him already.
you see that this appears to be the
They're all
like,
teaching each other how to fist bump.
yeah, you see as they're walking out, they're all kind of like putting fists together, just in like in odd confusion.
Hell yeah.
You see that this tree seems to be probably one of the central trees, and it is connected through bridgeways and pathways. Not quite like the rope bridges in Bryarden. These are like set, structured, set in the foundation bridges that cross through other trees. You see that the trees themselves look like mostly domiciles, places people live, and on the floor they seem to be marketplaces. Parts of the trees are hollowed out to have like entertainment areas, places to work and sew and smith and things along those lines. So it seems to be like a city that is carved from trees itself. This also looks like a very, very old city. You see that on the floor, kind of snaking its way through all the bridges, is this stream, this brook that's maybe about 5 feet across, maybe a foot deep. And you see a lot of people gathering water from there or washing things from there. You do see a small handful of the same armored elves kind of walking around, but they don't look aggressive. They're just kind of walking around.
Is my guy there or no?
No, he kind of walked back into the woods.
He's back watching the perimeter.
I'm gonna miss him.
You see as kind of along the bridges and in the other trees are small marketplaces where people seem to trade or buy food and materials, things along those lines. You as you finally start to relax yourself, you hear several sounds that aren't speaking. It's music. You hear music everywhere. People are playing lyres and harps and lutes and flutes and all these things. You see people dancing to the music. Several people are weaving, sewing, building, carving, crafting. No one's outwardly like big smiles or anything. We see everyone that's fairly content in what they're doing. You see that in the main tree, the one that you're close to, it has one large kind of, I guess, atrium room, like 25 feet in the air, and then maybe an extra 30 feet above that is a slightly smaller room, which seems to be a small domicile, but it's very well crafted. You see each of these trees have stairs kind of winding up and around, and from what you can tell, there seems to be about. It's fairly populous. You see almost all elves. Most of them very tall.
Almost all elves?
Almost all elves.
What else is there?
You see a few gnomes, a couple satyrs.
Gnomes. Dryads.
Yeah. But it is about 95 to 97% elf.
Is Romeo and Juliet there?
Thank God, no. That movie was horrible.
Or how
Love
about
that
Sherlock
movie,
Gnomes?
I won't even lie.
As you're walking, you do notice that a lot of the elves that you walk past them are kind of like looking at you, and they're all kind of whispering to each other. They're pointing at Rogar, they're pointing at Kallista, they're pointing at Lau, kind of
really stand
talking
out.
amongst each other.
The most photo negative thing in this vicinity.
Just stay next to me.
You see that all the trees kind of glow this bioluminescent turquoise neon blue as you walk through. You see that as you kind of go up the stairs and across some of the bridges that the bridges seem to connect maybe a dozen or so trees that kind of loop around in almost like an O, more like a capital Q shape almost. So you spend a little bit of time walking there, and as you walk through, you go to one of the vendor areas where people are selling, food, materials, and things like that, and you hear Kindra, Lau, John, Damaris. You hear one voice calling out, "You, newcomers, come here.
Alright.
We'll go over there.
You see, this very broad smile, very wide-eyed elven man who's. They're elves. You can never tell how old they are, but
How old are you, sir?
To ask a man his age without knowing his name is so uncouth.
What's your name?
I'm sorry for his rudeness.
My bad, dude.
Buzz me, Mello. Come on.
I I
is
see
my
an example
companion.
again.
He's
Like this. Buzz me, mulatto.
he's special.
Radical. It's just like that. Now you try. Boom! See? Already part of the squad.
oh, you outsiders. It's always such fun to see people come in. So many new things. Tell me, how long has it been?
I'm
Since
looking
we got
at
here?
hourglass. Like this much sand.
Tell me, are you still dealing in gold?
Yes.
Yes.
What's the unit?
3 shells. Like,
Oh, I remember the last time I was there, you were trading in seashells and small bits of copper.
Oh, it's been quite a while since then.
We do shekels now.
So, what brings you here? What brings you here?
Is he speaking common or
Common. Ishi's common is actually pretty good.
Something of ours was stolen, so we've been trying to track down.
A thief, you say?
Yes.
Oh. Well, you'll not be surprised to see that it even happens amongst here in Athario. Tell me, do you know what your thieves look like?
No.
We do not.
I can't help you then. I have not
Happen
seen.
during the night.
I don't know. I haven't seen any other outsiders around here in many a time.
Can you repeat that name again? And where are we right now?
Why, my dear miss, you're in Athario.
Nefario?
Ithariel.
I thought
Yes. Have you never been here before?
this was our first time.
First time? Oh, fantastic.
You popped our cherry.
Oh.
What does that mean?
He kind of just like smiles quietly. He's like, please.
Hey, buzz me, mama. Yeah, dude. Radical.
I am Talarin. I welcome you here, and of course, I am here to help. Tell me, do you have any crescents?
Crescents.
Never heard of it, bud.
You never heard of a crescent? Well, I'm glad I got to you, for I am a great trader.
You're a trader?
A trader.
Oh.
Trader. You'd be a traitor here.
Before we trade anything to you, why are you so eager to help us? Everyone else seems to be a bit more wary.
They've never been on the outside. I've been there myself. I know.
Oh, whereabouts?
Can I think for a second?
Call this bluff.
yeah, about that.
I've been many places. I've been to Minnock. I've been to Stonegate. Let's see. Tell me, is there still the small squabbled intrinsic?
What?
Wait.
Do you still have the old map?
Yeah.
About that.
Well, he's going on about this. I kind of pull out my map, and are any of these places on the map?
All of them are on the map.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wild.
Look, we got it right here. Check it out.
Oh yes, that's it. Oh, I haven't been there in so long. Tell me how.
Hesitantly opens up the map like,
It's no longer known as Trinsic.
Really?
Yeah, they mostly go by new names now.
Oh, oh, so many cities and so many names.
Wars have passed.
Oh, of course. Anyway, yes, good dragon, sir. Ooh. Well, I've been on the outside. He's like,
Dragon, sir.
I've been on the outside before, and
Fancy up a little.
I enjoy myself there, and I always welcome outsiders because you are, more often than not, they're in need of purchasing things, and to purchase things here you need crescents. And I am a particular trader of crescents. And you look and you see that kind of lying on this well-carved wooden table on this velveteen tablecloth are racks of silver coins, but the coins are like teardrop shaped almost, kind of like half of like the yin and yang sign about half, and they seem to be silver, beautifully carved in elven filigree.
Hold up. How can we check this guy's credibility?
Yeah.
I feel like he's just
Can we
scamming us.
do insight check?
Yeah, sure. Make an insight check.
Yeah, we're
He's telling the
22.
18.
Yeah, you seem to be telling the truth. It's funny. You kind of look around at the other vendors, and you see they seem to be trading in these crescents.
What do you take in exchange for these little crescent things?
Well, let me see. If I remember correctly, The last time we had outsiders here was some time ago. I believe now it is. Oh, what is gold? I believe it's about 2 gold for 1 crescent. But of course, here in Athariel, we do not deal in just currency. If you wish to trade for crescents, I'd be willing to trade as well.
Your sword.
How much were you
Sword.
paying for this trumpet?
No.
Sir-
I gave you that trumpet.
Sir, that's a candlestick.
It's a trumpet.
No, it's a trumpet.
No, it's a
I
trumpet.
mean, I played for him.
I have the sword.
He kind of picks it up. It's like, oh, well, this is very well made.
Thank you.
I can't believe you've gotten to steal at this point. Let's see. Let me see. Economy. There you go. Oh, sorry, I got that backwards. 1 gold is equal to 2 crescents.
That's not bad.
That's
Oh, thank
better.
God.
That sounds better.
I'd
I
be willing
think
to
this
trade
the
you
currency
about.
exchange here is whack.
Say 500 crescents.
Can I bargain it up to 1,000?
Depends how you're gonna say it.
Don't you dare fucking seduce this guy.
Don't flirt with him.
Are you sure I can?
He likes Rogar.
I can hook you up with my friend if you give
Yeah. I can get you a little hooked up with a. Or that.
I'm being serious.
Am I in the vicinity to hear this? John pimping me out.
Are you saying this in Elvish or Common?
He kind of looks over. My good sir, I am betrothed.
How did who?
My wife.
Yeah, but what's she like? What's her name?
Oh, let's not start this again.
Well, I mean, 2 is fun, but 3 is really, really fun.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh dear lord.
Yes!
Yes!
7. No, yeah, wait. 10.
He kind of looks at you, kind of looks at our guy. I am not one for impropriety, sir. We'll do 500 crescents for this sword. Very well made.
Rogar is sweating profusely, pointing at me and at the shopkeeper at the same time.
You're fine. He said no.
It's like points.
I said
Points to the shop. You points to Rogar. Just like
Mystery with my
Oh.
dragon friend here.
I have these 2 random long swords. Can I trade those?
you kind of look. You kind of hand them over. He looks at them. Oh, these aren't quite as nice, but
Oh.
I'll give you 100 crescents for them.
Yeah, alright.
I
Do you
have.
only? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I have 1 white dragon scale that I've had forever that I don't know what to do with.
He kind of grabs and looks just like, is this actual dragon?
That I've slain. We've slain ourselves. Yes.
Quite fantastic. Yes, this shall do. I shall give you 100 crescents.
100 crescents.
What about my wolf pelt? My beautifully.
You
Can I-
torched that.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Do you trade in anything else besides presents, or do you have any other goods?
No, but most of the stores here will trade if you feel something. They'll trade with you if you have anything up for trade. And remember, the people here, they don't just trade in material goods.
I raise my eyebrows very highly.
Not like that.
Sometimes, but normally favors, secrets,
Music?
music. Yes.
Oh,
How about I
boy.
play you a song right now? How many questions?
You have enough of my crescents, dear boy.
I have a metal elven brooch for that.
Yeah, kind of grabs from you. Oh, this is from here.
Plank, don't you have like a store? Like in your pocket?
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to negotiate.
Oh God. Oh, I'm so afraid. He kind of looks at the brooch. Oh yes, I know who made this.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he's still working. Interesting.
Very nice work.
Maybe you shouldn't tell me you
It's
sold
it's
it.
fairly common by his standards. So, 15 crescents.
I'll hang on to it.
Very well.
I approach the elfin. But is there a table or a stand? What is-
Yes, he has a table.
Did you get up there?
I put my elbow on the stand
Yeah.
and look. What's your name again?
It's Talon?
Talaran.
I look Teller in the eyes. I see you're a man of high stature and good trade, and I bring many wares from far away and out of your land to show you in exchange for your nice crescents.
Make a persuasion check.
He didn't even offer anything yet. Well, he offered everything, I suppose.
It's establishing his credibility, you know?
Doesn't look good, Scoop.
I thought using these dice anymore. Those are 3.
Very nice.
He kind of looks at you. He's like, "What sort of wares could you possess?" He kind of looks at you. And you see him kind of sniff. Just, what sort of wares could you possess? Good
Do
sir?"
not let my fine aroma or high my disheveled look dissuade you from my good wares, good sir. You can see that by my many stacked hats that I'm a man of fine taste and class.
Very well.
I pull out a handful of porcupine needles. These, sir, are the latest in trend from where I come from. The latest in riding utility.
Are those porcupine quills?
No, they are the finest of quills. Pricked.
No, they are.
I've heard they've been used for writing, but otherwise I don't have much use for them.
Okay.
Flank, don't waste his time.
Why not?
I put the quills back.
He has plenty of
How about I pull out the torch bracket and say, "This, my good sir, is the latest in fashion."
That's a torch bracket.
Fair enough. I can see that it could be utilized as a torch bracket, but
And it seems to be a poorly made one at that.
fine. I scratch my head for a bit and I pull out a bag of various dragon scales.
Okay.
Mostly Ice Dragon and Behir.
Okay.
How about this stuff? I don't like it.
Oh, some more dragon scales. Very well. Let's see.
I have about 5 Ice Dragon scales and, 4 Behir scales.
One
Pick some
dragon
up
scale was
soon.
100.
I'll give you 300 crescents.
For all
The bag.
the whole bag. 350. I give him a wink.
Oh, very well. 350. Hands like a small pouch.
Nice. I take the pouch and extend my grubby little hand to seal the deal.
Thank you for doing business. Good
And thank you, my good sir.
Wait, what did you just trade him?
Do you happen to know,
What did you trade him?
Oh,
or
my
rather,
dragon scales.
who would you suggest as the best swordsmith?
Tana kind of thinks for a second. It's like, well, there are smiths, but normally swords and other weaponry aren't sold here at the normal
I
markets.
don't need to buy one. I need one looked at.
Oh, I believe the best smiths are employed by the Silver Songs. You'd have to ask one of them, or ask the officers.
So speak to the guard.
I believe so.
All right, thank you.
Who's in charge here?
He looks like, oh yes, you're not here. Let's see. Well,
Gina, can I speak to the manager, please?
Well, it's just like there's a city and there's guards, so I'm just like,
oh, I doubt.
Look up.
I doubt you'd be able to speak to the Sovereign Fae herself. She isn't one for making public appearances.
Why?
Because she's the Sovereign Fae. Why would she need to?
I don't know. Can I go talk to her?
No.
That'd be like a pixie asking to meet Corellin Lotharian himself. No.
Oh, you don't.
Hey, I have rights, okay? I'm an individual.
John, it's not like that.
I
here.
deserve to be respected.
Perhaps if fortune smiles upon you, you might be able to find one of her court out and about.
I'm trying to court her, if you know what I mean.
Don't say that. Even though, not to
Excuse him.
Believe me, you will find more patience from me than most anyone here.
I mean, how about I meet you in the court, play some b-ball, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you notice that every time John says something, he turns to Damaris or Kindra.
And sees Damaris' look of suffering.
Good sir.
I still don't really understand what he's talking about.
We just let him talk.
Would you happen to have any fine haberdasheries in this fine city of yours?
You might be able to talk to one of the weavers. I don't quite know what a haberdasher is, but I believe it is clothing.
You know what porcupine needles are, but you don't know what hats are? That's with the backwards place.
Don't they teach you this shit in school?
Flicks just little outbursts.
What
Like,
do you
what's
got
going on
upon
here?
your brow to present yourself in public?
Oh yes, a cap. Yes,
Sure, a capidashery.
yes. You can. There are several weavers you might be able to discuss various clothing options with. Now that you have the crescents for it.
Thank
Who
you.
sells the most unique and strange wares?
Well, at this point, I believe I do, with all the things you've traded me. He just specifically remembers porcupines.
Any merchant that sells magic infused items.
Well, magic is all about here in the Feywild. But magical items are still difficult to come by and are often in possession by the Silver Songs themselves.
Who's that?
It's the guard.
Okay.
The people that brought us.
Meanwhile,
Can I go talk to my boy then?
Off in the
go find
forest.
him. Yeah.
You might be able to go find him.
Hell yeah. I like to
I
go
feel such
find
a
my boy.
common. What are you doing?
My son. Can I adopt him?
He's a person.
Exactly.
He's significantly older than you.
He can still be my son.
He's like at least 5 times your age, if not like 50 times your age.
You know, sometimes you learn a lot of things about being a parent in a very short time.
You learn from your children.
Exactly.
Sure. So if you want to leave from Talarinstand.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I think we did.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you, and if you need anything, feel free to come by, especially if you come back and wish to trade more things.
Thank you for hospitality.
Oh, yes, of course. You'll find much hospitality here in Ithariel.
Good.
As you turn to walk out, you head back out
Convincing.
out of the city, kind of toward the back in the forest. As you walk out in the forest, you do see a small encampment of soldiers, and you do see all of them just kind of like lightly bumping fists with each other, just kind of tapping over and over again in confusion.
My dudes.
Starter
I
brawl
bring
culture
salutations.
among the elves.
Oh dear.
You kind of look up, you see the one elf who you taught the fist bump to, kind of looking at you. He's like,
Buzz me.
"Is this a new one?"
Yes.
You hear the other ones like whispering in Elvish, like, "We just learned the other one. What's this new one about?" Okay.
Nice.
You hear one of them like, "Are you married now? What did you do?"
No, that's a pact of adoption in my tradition. You are my son now.
It's just a greeting.
He's like,
He's playing with you.
Hi, son. How are you today?
"What can I do for you?"
You can call me Dad for once.
Please.
I don't want this attitude from you, bro.
John. That's enough.
Don't make
You see the elves just kind of looking confusion.
me send you to your room. Come on.
I
am putting my foot down.
I'm going to put myself in front of John.
Hey, this is a father-son issue, okay? Don't
I
get
need
involved.
you to step away.
This is my adopted son, okay?
He's
Don't
like-
tell me.
He's probably 300 years older than you.
Yeah, and I love him anyway.
380.
Oh, I was close.
This is
How
my son. What's
flattering.
your name? What's your name?
It's up to you if you want to flatter him.
He kind of steps back a little bit, and you see him kind of resting his hand kind of on like his scabbard. Just, I am. I'm just so stunned at what's happening.
Yeah, I didn't plan this out, huh?
I think you'd want to adopt an elf. You could never prepare for us.
I
Probably want to go to the antique shop.
You prepared for the
Yeah.
blink
I
God, but
Fucking hell,
not
what
this.
the fuck? That wasn't on the list.
That wasn't on the list of stupid ass bullshit that you guys are gonna do.
Are those the papers to make it
It's a
official?
chart of names.
Time to go to Plan C. Wing it. Daddy!
Oh my god.
Am I
60
working
years
this
later,
out
I
now?
never thought I'd adopt a son like you. Now on my deathbed, I look upon you. Still like the day I met you, young and pure.
Please stop saying things. Yeah, like she's like, my name is Rowan.
Rowan.
Yes.
R-O-E-N-N.
Are you writing that Rowan is your son?
Yeah.
Hello, fellow
Are you gonna
elves.
send him
I am
Christmas
now Rowan,
gifts?
son of
You-
John.
You hear the other elves kind of whispering in the background. It's like, wait, did he make a deal? Did he make a what's happening?
I hereby adopt Rowan as my son. He is good, he is beautiful, and I am proud of him.
His name is
Sincerely,
now
John.
Ronan Sinner.
Kind of look at this and it's like, I have made no contract with
I'm
you.
proud of
It's
you,
not
son.
legally binding.
This is definitely legally binding.
Do not
I love you, son. I'm proud of you.
Just on the other side, Damaris is like, it's not real.
He kind of folds it politely and just kind of looks at you and he's like, can I help you with something?
Well, son, I wanted to see if there was somewhere to purchase weapons like yours.
We do not allow outsiders or civilians to purchase weapons.
What?
For
You
the,
just sold a sword. Why do you want a sword?
for the safety of the public, of
No,
course.
I want a shield.
Oh, a shield.
So you be like Goofy from Kingdom Hearts, you fight with
That's
a
not
shield.
a weapon. That's
No, I have a sword, and then I'm gonna have a shield.
Oh. You have
He kind of thinks for a second. He's like, I believe the smiths could make one for you.
Okay. Could it
What
possibly be magic infused?
Oh, well, that would take a great amount of time.
Well, doesn't time go differently?
It still exists.
It's an inflatable shield.
It's just made out of like wood and pixie sticks.
Speaking of magical swords, I was wondering if there was someone among you that could take a look at mine. 'Cause I believe
Sorry.
it has been acting strangely.
Oh yes. He kind of thinks for a second. He's like, I do know of the smiths. There are a handful, and the one who specializes in magical weaponry in particular. She is. He kind of thinks for a second. She is currently. I believe she's currently working on some armor right now for one of the Silver Songs. Her name is Gweno. Gwenno. And she's out past the fourth tree, I believe.
Only around here do you hear something like that.
Dude, that's very Gweno. Mucho Gweno.
Please.
It's okay, I'm Mexican, I can say these things.
Which direction do you say that one?
Kind of back in the city. You kind of process that like the trees are just organized by sequence. So probably the fourth tree from the central one.
Alright, thank you.
As you all kind of walk out toward that general direction.
I'm making sure John leaves Rowan alone.
The Silver Songs, maybe about 6 of them there, just kind of stand in confusion. You see some in the background just kind of bumping hands together, just like, so this means this, and this means this. What does this mean?
Are you my son now?
Do I own you?
Do we own each other?
So you make your way around through the city, and you hear music, you smell baked goods, breads, meats, mostly fish grilling. You go from one tree to another. You see that the trees are, they're not necessarily organized in any way. So one tree can be filled with mostly vendors, one can be like a small school, some can be a musical troupe. It's because all the trees are hollowed out into these almost amphitheater sort of designs. And they seem to be used just for whatever purpose. is needed at that time. You do find that on the fourth tree from the central one, there are a few furnaces burning, and kind of standing near or around the entrances toward the furnaces are some of the silver songs, just kind of standing. Keeping watch of things. You see a few elven women in these long. Everything here is just super finely detailed. Even like the leather aprons and smocks, their hair is tied back very carefully as they work through some metal works, kind of pouring this bright silvery steel kind of through molds and things like that. You do see that most of these smiths are actually women. And one of them who looks slightly older, in that she looks like maybe 40. So you know she's at least like 600.
Yeah, like she could be like 800.
She's kind of stoking one of the fires with a bellows, just kind of making the flint kind of rise and fall as she presses on this bellows. As you walk up toward the furnaces, one of the guards kind of stops you, and he tells you that, we can't allow you inside here unless you have explicit business.
I was sent here by Rowan to speak with Gwynna.
That's my son.
Very well. He kind of lets.
I'm just a father, okay?
He doesn't
There's
even
nothing
make a
to be
deception
scared
roll or
of.
nothing. It's just like,
I feel like he just had to think about it. Like, have I ever met Rowan's parents?
Yeah, it's
He was always an odd one. That Rowan.
As you walk in,
Don't you talk about my son like that.
you do find that this is a wide open area with large vaulted ceilings, so that the smoke kind of billow outward. You see maybe 4 or 5 separate furnaces, kind of along lining the perimeter of this tree. You see that the wood is darkened with soot and smoke, but doesn't seem to be burning. Gwenna pours some molten metal into a mold, and she sets it down for a little bit. As she looks up and sees the 70, kind of starts back for a second. She's like, "Hello."
I'm sorry for interrupting. I was recommended to come here by Rowan.
Come back later. I'm working right now.
Alright, if later would be better.
Yes, please, come back later. And she kind of shoos you off. She goes back to work with things.
She's busy.
So I guess you have time in the city now.
Oh boy, more shopping.
So what do you guys want to do?
Antique shop.
Antique shop.
Well,
Elven
I
antique
don't
shop.
know if there is one.
Is there an antique shop?
We can ask Rowan. Wait, I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
We can ask one of the guards.
My son.
Or you guys can.
Yeah, because you can't.
proud of you.
Were we supposed to look for an
He's
item?
not your son.
He's my son and I love him. He is.
You know nothing about him except his name.
His name is Rowan. He is a guard.
Do you sense your
Nice.
ring anywhere near here?
Do I sense something?
It doesn't seem so.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? We came here for the...
We came here for the ring, not for you to adopt a kid.
Oh my bad.
A 380.
A 380-year-old kid.
Hey, he is adopted, so it's okay.
It just took him a long time
Yeah.
to find the right family.
Exactly. But I'm proud of him.
He was a trouble kid, huh?
He was, it was a struggle, but...
We met
Being a
him like
parent
10
always
minutes
is.
ago.
Wait, we can adopt elves here?
And yet John has felt like he's known him his whole life.
I remember he was just a boy. I used to take him out to the city.
Yes, Rogar.
I said,
I
son,
sense the direction of the ring, like what he did when we first got here.
would you be?
So you concentrate with the amulet on your chest, and you kind of concentrate. But being in the Feywild, the concentration of magical energy in the land is so much stronger than in the material plane that it seemed to be causing all this feedback almost, where it's too much to concentrate on a single thing. It's sort of the difference between picking out one sound in a library versus picking out one sound in a city.
I mean, like when we first got into the Feywild, John was able to kind of like sense a memory or like somehow directionally.
I'll let you make an Arcana check.
Arcana check?
Yeah.
Everything is magic.
Ooh, 19.
You do have a small tug. It's kind of pulling, but at this point, it feels like it's pulling you like in a couple different directions.
Okay.
And because you're not sure where anything is, you don't know if it's beyond the trees, within the city. It's kind of it's sort of pulling you around in circles like a compass that you're pulling a magnet around.
Okay. So I look up, is it above us?
Look up. It's just more tree canopy, mountain, purple sky.
Majesty.
Not purple mountains.
Majesty.
Above the future.
Wait, okay. How did we know that the robber came to the Feywilds?
We saw the portal open?
Because the portal was open and the ring was missing.
Mm.
And now we can sense it here.
Okay.
No, we used to be able to. Antique store? Just the rings lost.
We kind of need the ring.
Fuck, yeah, that's right.
Maybe someone at the antique store would have information.
There's no antique store.
You're still assuming that an antique store exists in a place where people live for centuries.
Yeah,
Can
nothing
I
here
sense
than
an
antique.
antique store?
They are.
Can you sense an antique store?
Can I find an antique store?
If you want to just walk around and look for something like it,
Can I ask somebody?
I suppose so. You can ask whoever you feel like asking.
I go up to someone and just go, "Bonjour, my friend." Is there...
You walk up to one of the nearby guards by the smiths in the furnace. He kind of looks at you. Just
do you know Rowan?
yes.
That's my son.
You seem a bit young to be a father.
Well, you know, sometimes families are interesting.
Mm.
I am looking for a store of antiques. Just trinkets and...
I'm staying out of this. Don't even look at me. I'm done covered for your ass.
Like trinkets and such.
Strange oddities.
I believe you can ask almost anyone for odd things. People just collect things around here.
Okay. Is there a certain store that you would recommend in this district?
Not that I can recall that sells specifically those kind of things.
What kind of things are you into? Like, do you have a favorite store around here? Like,
I didn't know John liked it out so much.
can you like
I
point us in a direction of
I'm
things to look at? You know,
I'm not one for frivolous things. No.
I feel that, man, but I need you to help me out here. Like, just say a store.
Walk down and find one. There's
John, how about
several.
we go for a walk?
You're a good man. You're a good man. I'll walk away.
Useless, but a good man.
I have an idea, John.
What's up?
Perhaps because
Stop
they like
harassing the
performances here, right? Perhaps you perform a musical
Spectacle.
spectacle of
Okay.
people, and you mask the lyrics with what you're looking for.
Ooh.
And perhaps someone will come up to you after the show and provide a suggestion.
That's not a bad idea. I'll do that.
Alright.
All right.
Where's the thing?
Where's the guitar?
Rogar, why didn't
Oh,
you become
no.
a bard?
A dragonborn bar would be the funniest fucking thing I've ever.
Rawr, rawr, rawr.
He doesn't even need a pick. He just
Play
uses
dragon
his nails.
chords.
Alright, queen.
Are they gonna play with the instrument thing?
No, it's gotta be
no, I didn't
legit.
bring it today.
Gotta be legit.
Someone stole my ring. I'm looking for it. Has anybody seen my ring? I'm looking for it. Come on, please, give me my ring back. I just want my ring back. Please, please, whoever took it, you're being super mean. Come on, baby, can't you see? I'm crying, baby, for my ring, yeah.
Subtle.
Um,
Was that in Elvish?
Do any of us notice anyone that looks suspicious?
Make a performance check. Oh, Christ.
27.
All the elves come over and give you their rings.
People just start pulling out rings. Someone proposes to John.
Hell yeah. Now I have a son and a wife. Start a family here.
Oh god.
I don't know it was a woman.
Oh, well, I mean, the more the merrier.
Okay. So you find kind of an open area to perform, and you perform a song, and you do realize that the songs you're performing are very different from the songs you hear around you.
Yeah.
And it is turning a lot of heads. A lot of people are turning and looking in your direction. They kind of listen to what you're saying. And
This isn't folk music.
this isn't Yanni. Some people have gathered to kind of start dancing around as you're playing.
Is there like a pit? People
Um,
moshing
You
in
started
there?
to
I
The
just
most
imagine
polite
the
shit.
elves are just like,
You're ruining elf culture!
no, it's like a Scotch show. They're skanking. No one, like, people are listening, but it doesn't seem like it's necessarily pulling anyone necessarily. But people are very appreciative.
wait, hold up.
They
I rolled a
cla-
27.
they-
They're just like,
I know.
okay.
I know. They're clapping when you see some of the guards kind of standing around, watching. You gather a crowd of maybe 15 to 30 people at this point.
Okay.
So much for laying low.
No showboating.
Is Rowan here?
No, Rowan is not here, but
He won't see me. There's always that one empty chair.
you do see that they're all clapping, but everything goes kind of quiet for a second as you hear just one last set of hands kind of clapping very politely, as everyone else kind of stops and they turn to see who's clapping. You see this one very tall elven woman, this reddish auburn hair just flowing down to like the center of her back. She's kind of covered on each side by guards who are also clapping very politely. She's very noble and regal look toward you. Her robes are almost platinum or white gold, just kind of flowing down past her feet and trailing slightly. She has this, platinum crown circled around her head.
Well, there you go, John. You got your audience.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm telling you, I'm gonna go make her swim. Let's go.
Very, very much like Kate Blanchett in Lord of the Rings. Not Kate Blanchett from Thor. Very different Kate Blanchett.
And then
That's her
everybody
sister.
dies. Everybody dies.
All shall love me in despair. As you all turn to look, you see someone clapping. You notice something very, very interesting. Kindra, you get this odd kind of sense of familiarity on seeing this person. But you don't remember her face. You don't remember. You more remember this very soft smile that she has. A very kind and soft smile as she's clapping. Everyone else kind of gets quiet and like looks as they see this woman clapping at you. Kind of seeing kind of like a slight dip amphitheater kind of style. So she's at the very top, and as she walks down, you see that the crowds kind of part, like Moses parting the sea, as she's flanked by maybe a half dozen of the same elven guards. She kind of walks up to you, and even at your height, she still stands maybe 4 or 5 inches above you. And you feel like there's this you feel almost this radiance glowing from her, this aura of just like calm, of royalty, of regal splendor. She kind of claps like, That was a fantastic song. I have not heard something like that in many, many a year.
Thank you kindly. I give her a little wink.
Who are you, good sir?
My name is John Sinner. You may have heard of me. They call me the cowboy of the West.
Oh. Is he a cowman?
And I tend to the creatures of the world.
You have an accent, John. I think he's trying to sound hot. It's not working.
She kind of looks. She's like, oh, she laughs. She puts her hand up to her mouth and like laughs very politely and quietly. Kindra, you almost kind of recognize this laugh a little bit.
You're mighty pretty.
Oh dear.
Oh, good dear boy, you're so kind. I forgot how amusing humans are.
I'm like squinting at her because I'm like, I recognize this stuff and I don't really remember, and it's like bugging me. And
Yeah,
I
it's
just,
like it's like flashes. Like
I'm just like
I'm looking at you squinting, up to her, back to you squinting, like.
I'm interpreting the squinting as she has harboring some dislike for this lady. Or they know each other. I'm confused.
yeah, like
Loud looking on confused.
to all others concerned, it looks like Kindra's just giving her the stink eye. Just
Oh man, I really regret saying this, but John, you should fist bump her, get her to call you daddy.
You want him to die? Look at these guards.
Is she speaking
No.
in Common or Elvish right now?
she's speaking common.
Ah.
Can I speak to her in Elvish?
Oh dear.
Usted es guapísima, señora. O sea, me puede dar una oportunidad de poder
What language is that?
decirle cómo.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Exactamente, chiquita.
She kind of just laughs and she's like, oh, you silly human boys. How long have you been here in Atharia?
Long enough to party.
A couple hours.
I look at my hourglass.
This many. She kind of looks at the rest of you, and she kind of just smiles very politely as she looks at all of you. It's like, welcome. I am Kindra. I am the leader of the Silver Songs. It's very nice to meet you.
Kendall.
Kindra. Kendara.
D-A-R-A.
Yes.
This is in common, right?
Yes. Welcome to Atharia.
Thank you.
What brings you here? She kind of looks at you down and is like, oh my goodness, dear boy, what happened to you?
Our last battle was rougher than I was prepared for.
Oh.
When Dad told me, he used her name, didn't he?
Yes. So you...
Kindra just like drops all her shit.
Yeah, once you hear the name, it clicks. You know who this woman is.
Are you on the floor?
As she kind of turns her head to look at you, you notice that on one side of her head is this long braid that kind of goes down and loops back around from her temple, kind of down and around.
My hand like goes to where mine was,
Used to be, and kind of
Yeah.
grabs at it.
and then I just kind of clench my fist really tightly.
I am thinking that she probably wants to attack her.
And
I'm
I'm
looking
just
very
like-
concerned.
There's something wrong, Kindra? You seem
And
stressed.
Yeah.
I need to leave right now.
We just got here.
Well, then you guys can stay. I'm going back with Rowan or something.
Wait, I want to go
Ken, you got beef with the elves? Because I can relate to that.
Oh no.
Miss, do you know my son, Rowan?
Oh no.
I know Rowan very well, but I know his father as well. And I do not believe you're him.
I adopted him earlier
He's
today.
trying to adopt Rowan.
He's my son.
He's a grown man.
I'm like,
Dear boy.
put my hood over so she like can't see me. Just like,
Kindra, what are you doing?
it's cold.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't get cold here.
It's a little bit cold.
Make a deception check.
Son of a bitch.
Can I roll an insight check?
Yes.
Oh boy. 17.
38.
You know Kindra's been cold ever since she's been fighting the ice dragon, so who knows? looks at all of you. So what business do you have here?
Nothing. We don't have any business.
Will you stop being rude?
We don't got none.
Something precious of ours was stolen. We're trying to
Yes,
follow
Mary.
the thief.
That's what the song was about.
You've had it. Oh yes. Now that you mention it.
I mean, you know, people usually
who-
don't
who-
see past the lyrics, but you know.
I don't imagine why a thief, one would someone who would steal from the Feywild go back to the Feywild. But from what I've heard, from what I've noticed recently, there haven't been any ingoing and outgoing traffic outside of U7. Which she kind of looks over aloud, like, how did this little group of yours happen?
It's a long story.
A lot of happenstance.
I would very much imagine so.
So there are these
Infected
rats,
rats.
right?
She kind of walks up and is like, and Rogar, you realize that even at your like 7 foot tall height, she's almost matching you at this point. She's quite tall.
Can I suddenly like flash my hand, see if she like looks down at it?
You kind of hold your hand out. She kind of looks at you. She's like, she takes your hand. Said like, you've been touched by the Fae, have you not?
Yeah, something like that.
Sort of made a pact.
Can you show us on the doll where the Fae touched it?
Here, actually, on the hand. Very interesting. I know very few at all who would make a pact with the Feywild, let alone a dragon such as yourself.
It wasn't so much made at.
Kindra kind of turns her eyes onto you. It's like, we don't get many drow here. I hope you
I wonder
do
why.
not take insults, but I do wish that you be wary of your time here, for there might be many who are not as patient as us here in Evariel.
I keep that in mind everywhere I go.
It is a very good mindset to make. She,
Now a little closer.
Lady Kindra, are you able to sense people who use Feywild portals?
personally, no, but I know of many of them.
Are they able to track people who use portals?
No, portals aren't necessarily regulated. They are openings, doorways between here and the material plane. We do tend to keep an eye on them, but we don't track each and every individual because they do not open normally or frequently enough to do so. Normally, people who travel in between either have a key that allows them to go through, or through certain circumstances of nature, doorways open for a small amount of time.
And do you have any advice on what to do if one of those keys were stolen?
I would say find it immediately.
That is what we are trying to do.
For a key to the Feywild is not one to be taken lightly.
Yeah. That's what we're trying to recover it, but we have no leads as of yet.
What does this ring look like?
John,
Hello?
what does your ring look like?
It looks like a ring.
Thank you, John.
It's got a big old rock in it. And it's really pretty.
What color?
Are you interested? Are you trying to imply something here? Yes.
John,
I believe we should have a much more private discussion, if you will.
I mean, if you want to get me alone in the room, all you have to do is
not
ask.
just you, all of us.
Please come with me and have a meal with me. It is so rare that we get outsiders, and I wish to know what has changed since I've last been there.
We'd be honored.
I would really rather not.
We're going.
Can I not go?
No, we're going.
We're here to find the ring.
Can I ask one more question?
Can I hang out with Rowan?
If we use the same portal as someone else, are you able to sense the other person's presence on us?
Not necessarily to. It's very difficult to track who actually comes in and out of a portal to the Feywild. That's why we had no warning of you coming here. If we had known who had passed in and out, we would have prepared ourselves. In case less friendly people were to trespass in.
I'm gonna pull Kindra aside.
Okay.
What is your problem?
Can I be
Have you had
flirting
any
with her?
issue with any other elf here?
Yes. Sure.
Do you know her?
I have to tell the truth because
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
fucking bracer.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you get it.
How do you know her?
My mom.
Say something to her.
I don't want to. I hate her.
Why?
Because she left. And now she's here just
Do you
with
maybe
strangers.
want to ask her why?
No. She's just here with strangers and she's just, oh, let me make you a fancy banquet for these random people that I don't even know, but I'll just abandon my husband and my child for...
Are we hearing this?
For her entire city?
No, I think it's.
Okay.
They're on a sidebar.
She still left us for a fucking city.
You're having dinner with your mother tonight.
I don't want to.
You're going to. I'm gonna grab her by the back of her hood and steer her back to the group.
And I'm like...
As you all come back, you notice that Kindra is very patiently just smiling and nodding as John just talks and talks and talks.
You don't want any of that, John.
I can't babysit everyone.
Oh, really? Because last time it kind of seemed like we were the ones doing the babysitting for somebody else.
For your son?
Yeah, my son. That's my adopted son you're talking about, okay?
What's
He's
going
over
on?
there, in
Is
that
the family
direction
fighting?
I don't know.
I'm scared.
I don't know what to do with John.
So after you're all back gathered, you all walk with Kindra to her toward one of the maybe the fifth or sixth tree, and walk up the long rounding steps. You realize that there are no guardrails on these
No,
steps.
it's just stairs.
Who's afraid of heights? Is anyone actually?
I think me, yeah.
Oh,
There's better heights.
No, spiders.
Wait.
yeah,
Nope, spiders.
So, John, the farther and farther you climb, the less inclined you are to look down, and you kind of hug close toward the center of the center of the tree, keeping your hand kind of tight
Still
against
trying to be cool, though.
You're like,
Yeah,
sup? Sup?
it. As you go up and up,
I'm still firmly keeping Kindra in front of me.
10 feet,
I'm like,
20 feet.
I keep trying to, like, just...
Today's gonna be quite the leg day.
30 feet, 40,
I hope it's
50.
been quite a workout for you.
Damn, these stubby little legs down this high tree.
You make your way up toward one of the canopy houses, and it's this long.
Can I make one last ditch effort? Where I reach into my pocket with my dirt and I throw it down.
Pocket sand.
And pocket sand.
Make an athletics check.
You know, pockets on a
Make
man
an,
who only has
make an
one
athletics
pocket?
check.
You little shit.
8.
8? Don't be a 1.
How's those
Is
new
that
dice
a
Did
going?
it work?
How's those new dice going?
Wait, can I like walk into it on accident?
And then you like fall off.
What did you roll?
Wait, what?
7.
What?
Oh my god, I did it!
Wait, what? Wait, which check were you doing? Athletics.
Holy
Roll
shit.
4.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw.
11. You fall off the tree?
Okay, so you're able to kind of like take a handful of dirt, throw it in Damaris's face, and as you turn to run off, you just turn and off the edge. Let's see, that's
Can't grab her.
Can any of us grab her? Can I?
nope.
Grappling hook?
How high?
Let me see.
Oh Oh, you idiot!
Can I turn to a spider and lower
You
myself?
just had
in
to have
nature?
dinner with your mom.
No!
You'd rather die?
Yes!
Oh my god.
Wait, this is like the stormtrooper in the Star Wars Holiday.
Yeah, she tripped over her own gun.
Yeah.
Hey, you made it happen. Tripped over the very dirt you threw. Okay, can I turn into a spider and web her and hopefully a Gwen Stacy thing won't happen?
Snap.
Do I have enough time to notice and throw a grappling hook at her?
Plunges into her back and just rips out of Chuck's spine.
Yeah, I don't think grappling hooks work the other way. Don't we have? None of us have levitate or something,
No.
or slow fall. Oh wait.
I know, I kept thinking about WoW spells. It's
Feather
like,
fall.
oh, levitate.
Feather fall is something I think I can learn, but I haven't learned that.
So I'd say you're about maybe 50 feet up at this point.
What?
Yep.
It's a really big tree.
Well, I'm dead.
No, Ronan's gonna catch her, and then Ronan will die.
I think I'll use 8s.
Or you land back at the start at what's his face's shop.
Or I land on a pile of guards.
So you fall, and you just hit the ground. Fortunately, the ground is fairly soft. It's not like concrete. It's just packed dirt, but it still hurts. So you go dunk and take 19 points of bludgeoning damage, and you do hear a loud crack
Oh, God.
and a very intense pain in one of your legs.
Oh dear God.
Kindra kind of looks down and is like, "Oh my God, did she fall?" She runs her way down, kind of leaping every other step. The rest of you follow suit. You try and walk away with one broken leg.
God, I do.
I don't have.
Oh great! Now you're gonna have to join us at dinner, and you cannot escape.
Really?
Shoot.
You thought that was a better idea?
You see some of the elves kind of gathering around as Kindra kind of runs up. She kind of crouches and she looks at you. She sees like the swelling of your leg.
A healer.
We're such an advanced
they-
culture. Why don't you have guardrails?
But like low-key, I'm flexing the entire time I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm like,
Alright. Do your cure wounds.
so cure wounds is
Can you toss me the
Oh wait,
pen,
I've asked this question.
Leon? One of the pens.
19. That's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was straight up dead.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was straight up dead.
Pick her up, we'll glue it back together.
Oh yeah.
so it's 1d8.
I cannot mend broken bones. That's right. I think we asked.
We have
Elf
discussed this.
anatomy
Yeah, yeah, we
knowledge
did.
seems a little wanting.
Glue binds broken muscle and tissue.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't
I'm
make it
not a-
function.
I'm a dwarf. I'm a dwarf rover, not a
So you
scientist.
did a second level.
We're
I
a
get
doctor
another one, right?
scientist.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a second level.
Well,
2.
Wait, this one? Yeah, it's 2. 2. Really?
great.
Okay.
You got two.
I
Uh,
got 2.
I'll
Swag.
let you man.
Kindra kind of gently like picks you up, and she hurries you back up into her living quarters as you follow suit.
She's strong.
Yes. Well, you're not that big.
She's also like 7 feet tall.
True.
I love this.
She kind of lays you down on her bed.
You're a
Pretty much.
goddamn fool.
She kind of puts her hand on your leg, and she you feel the bones slowly start to mend and restore themselves. So you're back at the full health. And she kind of looks. She's like, "Are you okay, Dad? Did you slip? Did you fall? What happened? Does it-
I
does-
fell.
Does it still hurt?"
No.
Very well. She kind of snaps her fingers, and you see a couple handmaids. They run off and they bring like some food, some towels, and bandages, and things like that. If you all kind of sit around, you all serve this, like a wild mushroom soup. It's nice. She kind of sits down next to you. She just keeps an eye on you. Like, here, eat something. Relax, you'll be fine in a few hours.
Thank you.
She's like 4 years old right now.
What was your name? I don't think I got your name.
I like try to lie, but I can't. Kindra.
She kind of pauses. She kind of pulls back for a second. She like looks at you. Her eyes kind of widen in confusion. She kind of looks at you. As she looks like deeper into your eyes, you
I'm trying not to look. Like I'm trying to not let her look at my eyes.
She kind of, kind of like looks at you, and you see this sense of recognition kind of hit her face. You see her eyes widen and soften around as she pulls you tightly and holds you. And you can feel her breathing kind of like her breathing kind of shudder as you can feel this like hot, these warm kind of tears kind of coming down her cheek and going down yours. And you just hear her just through her breath, just, I'm so sorry. I didn't know so long. How old are you?
20.
My God, 20 years.
Yep.
I thought I'd be able to see you before then.
Well, you didn't, so. Whoops.
She kind of just sits quietly for herself for a little bit. How's your father?
I kinda don't want to tell you.
I guess that is a truth.
Yeah, it's not a lie. Maybe we should all step out.
We're all
I'm
gonna
not
put our
done with my
ears
soup
to the
yet,
door.
Dammers.
What?
I'm still drinking my soup.
We can eat outside.
Is that okay in elf culture?
There was like a porch, pretty much, like a
Yeah.
balcony.
We'll wait outside.
Just gonna usher everyone out a little forcibly.
Is Zuzu coming with us or is he staying with her?
He's staying with her.
Okay.
He's my security blanket right now. You guys don't have to go and leave me alone with my mom,
No,
right?
we're going. Goodbye. Talk to her.
She's nicer than most moms I know.
Slurping my soup loudly.
She just sits kind of quietly for a little bit.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
She's crying. Please give her a second.
That's good soup.
I don't want to tell you about my dad.
I'll assume he's still alive at least then.
Yes. I'll tell you that much.
Does he still enjoy fishing?
I assume.
In that small little house of his.
I'm very much not laughing with her.
He had built the house before we had met, and it wasn't the most comfortable stay for me.
Sucks.
Can we hear this outside where we are?
If you're actively trying to listen to it,
I
yes.
think we are.
We're all like,
You notice the guards outside the door are kind of like...
The guards.
The guards are coming.
Everyone's shook because they've never seen Kindra be this bitchy.
Yeah. She's different with her father.
very different.
There was a lot more crying.
And coughing? We hear that.
Yeah, that was. I want that in character.
Elvish coughing.
I can't imagine how upset you are with me. And I don't know if there's anything to be done that can express how sorry I am, but at least I can tell you that I didn't want to be gone for that long.
Why were you? Not that it won't change anything, but
She kind of thinks for a second. Where did I put this?
Slowly shuffles notes.
Slowly shuffles notes. Am I missing one?
take your time, mother, by all means.
Yes, my daughter.
Not like you kept me waiting long enough.
When my mother was announced to be the next sovereign fae, she had appointed people to be in her court, and it so happened that I was one of them to be appointed. In the time that I had spent with your father, perhaps 30 years, 40 years had passed here in the Feywild, and in that time, things had changed, and I had to be called away to lead and protect the Silver Songs. I was even given the title of she who dances at the precipice because I had left for so long.
How delightful.
It was a responsibility brought onto me that very few have ever been given, and I believed I could make a balance. That was only...
She kind of thinks for a second.
about 3 years ago here. And I had been planning to leave and visit as soon as I could. And it turns out that this much time has passed. I should have maintained a closer eye. I should have watched. I should have been able to have someone watch or go myself, but the responsibility here is a great one. The Silver Songs are the only line of defense and protection for the city. And I felt beholden to them and my family, as I do now wish as I was as beholden to you. I wanted to see you grow so much.
You kind of missed up on that, so... Slurping my tea.
Your soup.
Oh, it's shifting awkwardly outside. It's going well.
I want more soup. You maybe do seconds.
Can I hand him the rest of mine?
I nod at Damaris and continue my soup.
Awkwardly eat soup.
Kindra, I know you are angry with me, and I know that does not go away as easily as one conversation.
Got that right.
But I want you to know that I'm sorry, and I wish I could have been there for you to watch you grow up.
there's anything that you need, I'll do my best to provide it. If you need a place to stay, I will find a place here for you. If there's something that if you need something in particular, I will help you find it to the best of my ability. You've grown up into such a powerful woman.
You don't know me.
I can feel your energy. I can feel how strong you've become. Although I do wish you had a bit more of my genes. You certainly have more of your father's features than mine.
I like it that way.
God.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, of course.
Would you do it again?
She kind of sits up, thinks for a second. Yes! She like just bursts into flames. Yes!
Something pulls a knife out.
One demon like emerges from the mouth. Like,
All shall love me and fear me.
how dare you question my...
It's like, oh, these are like the mothers I know.
To have this responsibility thrust upon myself.
You mean like how Dad had the responsibility of taking care of a child by himself thrust upon him?
And I the responsibility of caring for an entire city. It was a difficult decision, but we discussed it. This was not a single decision that I made at the denial of your father. Your father and I agreed that this was the best possible thing. I had even offered for you two to come with me, but I feel your father was afraid of the Feywild, despite my reassurances. Regardless, we made our decisions and we live with them every day.
This sucks, because I really want to ask her for help with the ring, but I know Kindra is way too fucking
Hey,
stubborn to
bitch.
ask her for help.
Is this where one of us can stumble in? Help us find the ring.
Just kicks down the door.
Finish their conversation and talk to her afterwards.
Okay.
Or talk some sense into Kindra.
Wanna play chess? Do we have a chess set? I
He
forget.
does.
I
Oh yeah, okay.
Let's play chess.
Okay.
Make intelligence checks.
Awkward chess time. You know that's
And I have
okay.
my proficiency bonus.
Yes.
How come he gets to do it?
Because I have proficiency in chess.
Oh. What?
It's his chess set.
Also click that.
Oh no. 11.
Didn't I do that chest?
Yep.
21.
One time. That was the strip chest one.
That was strip chess.
Wait,
I
it
was
was
distracted.
Hell yeah.
That was strip chess?
He
Wait.
played strip chess with me and it was very distracting.
Oh, I thought I
Boss.
played it, and I'm like, I definitely don't
No.
remember this.
But I got a 21, so
Yeah, I got
it's
10.
a
Yeah.
I won't know.
I gotta teach you drow chess sometime. Minus the bodily injuries.
I
We'll
was
do
going
it.
to say, doesn't it often involve a lot of stabbing?
It's
It
also
could.
known as foxy boxing or mud wrestling. Anyway,
It could.
okay. What are you doing?
Oh. So I just have soup.
Currently, yes. And
Oh
you're
god,
dead.
please don't be violent.
Did I finish the soup?
Mostly, yes.
Do I have a spoon?
Yes.
Just kind of swirling the spoon around the empty bowl, just like.
Maybe I should start making a potion by the time they start talking. I'll make another one. I'm gonna take out my herbalism kit. And I'm gonna start whisking and muddling
Stir,
away.
whip, stir, whip,
No.
whip, whip, stir.
No.
Well, until you're done talking to your mom, I'm not stopping. Stir, whip, stir, whip, stir, whip, whip, stir, whip.
There was considering jumping.
I'll use my potion to heal you then, and it all works out.
Damn it.
I am actually making one, by the way.
Yes.
I'm just gonna gather some leaves and just start.
Okay.
This is the equivalent of knitting for druids.
Bryarden, you wanna play some chess?
Sure.
Take intelligence checks.
Yeah, we're just killing time now. We're
While
done with
someone's talking.
I play chess with Dennis.
that. Let's all play chess.
18.
20.
Damn
You can't beat me at
I need to
chess.
swing
Hey,
up.
I beat you.
I already beat him once.
Almost.
You were naked.
Do you want to do it again?
Nope, my turn.
It's like they return and they
Oh, I
say,
gotta
didn't
see
say
this
no.
one. Hold on, I gotta see this one first.
Wait, come on, dice roller.
Is that ever gonna do any good?
Nope. 7.
19.
Yeah,
What kind of check is it?
23.
Huh?
What kind of check?
Just regular chess.
What's the check?
Intelligence.
14?
I don't know why, but John is your kryptonite. He keeps kicking your
That
ass.
is you beat me at chess. That makes sense. Him beating you at chess is like the best of luck.
Hey, damage. Lick my nutsack.
Not in front of everyone.
How about, is there like a random guard that you could play chess against? I don't know.
Just beat you 3.
Oh, wait, get up here.
You
Combo
didn't beat
breaker.
Mr. Rowan's dad over here.
Yeah. You know what? I hope my son's proud of me.
I want Rowan's
And
actual
Rowan's like
tactic
this.
to like, are you the asshole like this?
Please have that happen later.
He has like a big, deep voice, like Michael Clark Duncan deep.
It's just Michael Clark Duncan as an elf.
I'll play chess against him for custody of Rowan.
Oh god.
Anyway, Kindra.
Why did you guys decide that was the best plan of action?
Your father wanted to take care of you in a more traditional way. He joked that perhaps living here would be a bit too, in his words, fancy pants than living with him.
Real talk, Kindra would have gotten kidnapped by some fairies in the Feywilds if she was a kid in there. And you agreed?
It was a difficult one, but I was torn between two families. And your father assured me that he would take care of you, and I promised I would be back as soon as I could. But you don't have to actually draw circles.
I'll make the motion.
Your father assured that he would take care of you, and I did promise I would try to come back when I could. But I hadn't realized the time.
Isn't that like the number one rule?
To play odds with the Feywild is a difficult one, I suppose. But I was so confident. I was so sure. And I was wrong.
You sure were.
You seem to have a lovely group of friends, though.
It's not the word you use.
She met John, right?
Perhaps you were able to find a family. And I'm sure your father has taken good care of you.
Yes, it has.
He's a good man. I do hope to see him soon.
You're chanting.
What is that? Oh, music.
You don't deserve him.
Kind of bristles yourself. Perhaps. He was a very good man, a very kind one, and a strange one. And perhaps it is a lesson to keep to our own, as it were. Perhaps I shouldn't have strayed out of the Feywild to begin with.
That's dumb.
We make our decisions and we live with them to the best of our ability. And I will live with the decisions I made for a very, very long time.
It just doesn't sit right with me that I finally see you again after 20 years and you sit here and you victimize yourself and that just it kind of pisses me off a little bit, Ma.
I don't want to I do not wish to make you feel as though your pain is less than it should be. You have suffered so much by my hand. And all I can offer you is my deepest apologies. And I do not wish to absolve myself, but I wish to give you the circumstances in which we have come to where we are now. And I do not ask for your forgiveness, for I do not believe you will give it that easily.
You got one thing right today.
And all I ask is that you at least come closer to understanding the decisions that had to be made, the choices that were made, and that I am sorry for them and how they affected you.
I learned some things.
She kind of looks over. I see you've learned the bow.
Yes.
And I suppose your father taught you how to fish as well.
A little bit, yeah.
It seems as though he has taught you the skills to survive that you need, and I am very grateful that he has been taking care of you. That he was right in that he was able to give you a life that I couldn't have given you here.
I was happy with that.
Was.
Oh. I left eventually, obviously.
No doubt that is where we have the greatest connection. We both felt the need to leave at some point. But unlike me, I doubt you'll return to your father for very long.
Oh. You do not know me. I want to go home more than anything.
And
This
yet,
group
how
is
long
driving
did
me
that take
nuts.
you? How long did that take you?
What?
To go back to your dad?
Hey. At least I met my dad.
Hot kettle.
And now I'm like, I want to go back home now. Because I'm sick of you guys.
You're
What
a
did we
hypocrite.
do?
I just exist. People have a problem.
Deborah's coughing and Elmer's hypocrite.
And no doubt he will be happy to receive you.
Yeah. Dad's cool. I like Dad.
If you are so set on returning to your father, is that what you plan to do? Is that what you plan to do after whatever business you need done here?
I don't really know what I'm doing. I feel like I got some unfinished business.
I would imagine so.
Just kind of figuring it out as I go along. That's all I can do, you know?
I don't think I could have wished for you to grow up any other way. She kind of like speaks a little bit louder. You can come back in if you wish.
Can I get some more
Just
soup,
that way.
please?
How far I'm into this potion making progress, by the way? Just give me like a percentage or something.
Like 40%.
Okay, 40%. This is 40% work right there. Alright, I'll put a pause to this.
Packs the chessboard away.
Yep.
So, how's your lip doing?
It feels a lot better now. She fixed it up. It's A-okay. Won't have any problems.
It could have been
What
worse.
are you thinking?
Oh, you know, just wanted to avoid the person who abandoned me like 20 years ago.
You threw dirt at me.
Because you were gonna make me do it!
Oh, and look where you are now.
Yeah, I had to do it anyway, because I fell off a 50-foot tree. I almost got away with it.
If it weren't for that meddling Damaris. I don't know.
She kind of looks at all of you, breathes in. So, you are seeking a ring.
It was stolen from
Oh
us.
yeah. And soup. That was good soup.
Oh, yes, of course. She waves her hand until the handmaids grab your bowl and kind of refill it. And give you all refills on your soup.
Nice.
She kind of looks at you all and is like, is that all of your business here? To go so far to find a single ring, whether or not it be a key to a Feywild is quite the ordeal. I would imagine the ring has some other greater significance.
Just the tree.
It's my ring. It's very important to me.
No doubt.
What do you know about this? My show or my bracer?
Well, it is made of elven design, very old, even by our standards. It wasn't made here, though. Perhaps in one of the other of the lights.
What do you know about the shrines of virtue?
She kind of thinks for a second. She really recalling some memories. My grandfather would tell stories of the champions of virtue. He would tell tales of powerful warriors that vanquished evil throughout many lands, including the Feywild itself and the Underdark as well. I can't recall the specifics of the stories. They were rather old, as grandfather was at the time. But I can remember him being very energetic, despite his age, telling the tales of slaying the evil sorcerers and wizards, slaying of Mondane and Minax and Exodus.
Do you happen to know of any of the previous champions?
I only know the old stories. I don't know any personally. Supposedly a few were elves, perhaps.
Is there anybody that would know?
That are alive, I doubt it, but stories like that do not go completely forgotten forever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about our other knife, the circlet?
We've been
and
collecting
amulet?
the artifacts of the Stones of Virtue. It's one of the ones that got stolen.
It's the Ring of Compassion.
I can see why you traveled all this way then. Well, I can't imagine it having any particular use here, though I don't know what a stone of virtue is. Perhaps
Not entirely sure ourselves, just that they harbor some power within them that attunes to the wearer. Like the amulet, it compels you to tell the truth.
how interesting.
We keep getting visions of places.
And one of the visions led us here.
What did you see?
A golden tree.
A golden tree.
And a black spire. And a dude. With a bow on his back. And his face was covered. And the spire crumbled underneath him.
You speak of the arrow of Corellin.
Pardon?
Do you not know the arrow of Corellin Lotharian?
I remember Dad told me that's why you left, but I don't know anything about it.
Well, it's a sacred place. It's a tether between Galadin and the material plane. They say Corellin Lotharian himself loosed an arrow in his bow in ancient times to anchor the magical energies that bind the Feywild and the material plane.
Doesn't sound like a place we need to go.
We saw it in the vision.
Visions can be misleading.
How? It showed us a specific place.
You're a paladin, aren't you? I don't know. What the hell do I know about paladins?
I'd hope you know something about Corellin and Therian.
Do I?
Not good things.
Okay.
He's not fond of drow.
And
No
they're
one
not
is.
they're not fond of him. Yeah, the things
I
you
like you, lad.
the things you know about Corellin are not favorable or nice.
Just in the sense that he doesn't favor drow.
No, in that
He's the one that cast out law.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he single-handedly cursed the drow into the Underdark.
Yeah, he
Okay.
single-handedly banished them to the Underdark.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm back.
Surprise
Well, that bitch.
Now there's possibly 3 of us on the surface. I think 3. I'm like rounding up there.
I believe your visions are sending you to the arrow, perhaps. You say you saw it being destroyed.
Yes. His mentor said that was an omen or something.
I wouldn't doubt it. If the arrow were to be destroyed, the connection would be severed, and there may be no way to restore it.
What would that mean for the...
It would mean
For
that
chaos.
there would be no way for the Fae to travel between the Feywild and the material plane. That the energies would be unbound, unraveled.
So they'd become one.
No, but they would act erratically and perhaps catastrophically. Although I don't know why anyone would want to have it destroyed, though.
What would you have to gain from that?
I'm not sure. Not even the unseelie Fae would necessarily want to destroy it. It is within everyone's best interest to maintain a connection to the material plane.
Maybe they can harness the power?
I doubt anyone short of Corellin himself could.
Some people think they might.
It's very possible.
Suppose if you intended to make a god of yourself.
Would die in the process.
Well, hypothetically, which direction would that be in?
Well, it wouldn't be that easy to get there. The only real way to get there is about a 4-day walk by foot. And the marshes leading to the arrow make it difficult for mounted travel. And she kind of points out toward the north. Doggo.
Boof.
If someone does intend to destroy that, and we find them there, what are we to do about it?
I would assume stop them.
He's strong enough to destroy it.
I doubt anyone can single-handedly do so.
Is it not something that's protected?
Not necessarily. No one in Galadin wishes it harm, and it is not a portal to the material plane in and of itself. And that being said, it is a very powerful magical tether, and I've heard it has ways of protecting itself.
Being mad and Purim, I'd hope so.
And even if it were to be destroyed, the arrow is at the center of Galadin, and any perpetrator would have to cross through any one of the 8 lights or the smaller villages in order to escape.
Sounds convincing to me. All right, I'm satisfied.
So does
I
whoever
don't think
took
a
it
few
needed to
cities
destroy
are going to
it?
stop someone who's that determined.
Maybe
pretty
just
determined.
crazy, you know? Crazy people want to destroy things all the time.
Some men just
Doesn't
want
mean
to
this.
watch the world burn.
Doesn't mean he's super strong, just super crazy.
Exactly.
But we can be crazier.
Yeah, he's got like 4 hands. If I ain't crazy, I don't know what is.
I think we have a good lead. Maybe?
Wait, would they need the ring to destroy the arrow if that's what they want to do?
I don't know particularly.
Like, what are the odds of them trying to come back and steal the rest from us?
Beeline.
Hey, no.
Good puppy. Ah! Down. Hi, puppies. Yes. Yes.
Where is this fire?
It is at the center of Galadin. It's about a 4-day walk.
To the north.
Alright,
What
let's
direction
Or
was
northwest?
Hmm?
North or northwest?
North by northwest.
Mostly north.
Oh, why did I ask about the swords? Oh wait, no.
pretty much the leader of the military.
I don't want to bother her.
We're already bothering her.
I mean, I would believe she would know a thing or two about swords and magic.
She can bump up your appointment time. Sword checked out.
But it just said come back later. I don't know what later means.
Exactly, especially in the Feywild. You know?
The Feywild later means either in a few hours, in a few days, in a few months.
5 years.
Yeah, later is just later.
7 years later.
Or Kindra can be like, yo, see him right now.
Not important.
Like, okay, I'm ready to see you. You're a skeleton.
It's just a waiting room.
Welcome to hell.
Did she tell us where the tree is?
It's north.
No.
Wait, that's a different thing.
That's the arrow. The arrow is
The arrow
Yeah,
is
the
north,
arrow's
Oh.
but we also saw the tree. The golden tree.
There is a tree by the arrow Corellan.
Is it golden?
She kind of thinks for a second. I've only been there a hand, maybe once or twice myself, but I believe so, yes.
Can you stop making out?
Yes.
Stop.
Like, no, we need to.
Go.
So the arrow and that golden tree thingy in the same place.
Talking about 2 birds, huh?
And one stone, am I right? Hey! Cameras? Hey? Why? No
Are
A?
they in the same place?
Yeah. More or
Okay,
less.
they are. Okay.
Yeah.
That was
Lady remembers.
You were supposedly called away from home to protect Corellan's arrow. What was going on?
I was appointed to lead the Silver Songs and protect the city and protect Athariel, protect Galladin, and subsequently protect the arrow itself.
Was there any imminent danger?
No, it was an appointment.
It's in preparation.
You said the journey to the arrow up north takes about 4 days walking.
About.
Through marshlands.
Did we discuss about is how treacherous is it?
What kind of threats are we likely to find?
I wouldn't be worried about being attacked by any of the residents of Galladin, but the high grass near the marshes have been known to house rather unsavory creatures. I do suggest you be on your guard.
So the path up north crosses the marshes.
Yes.
Ah. Sounds awful. Sounds moist. Terrible and wet. Sounds fun.
You guys didn't bring your horses.
Can you? Is your horse summon in here?
I can.
Who's
it's all
gonna
in
watch the base when we're gone?
Danny-
Danny can't do
Danny's
it all
in
by
charge.
himself. He needs
We left
the
him-
horses.
We left a dandelion and 3 horses in charge.
He's gonna cool the town. The horses are taking
Guys.
over.
The horse will eat the dandelion!
Oh no, Danny! They're gonna eat the mayor!
There's been an uprising. The horses are revolting.
We get back and Roscoe's just like, I'm sorry they ate the mayor.
I'm
I-
the mayor now, but the footage shows that it was Roscoe the whole time.
Come back. One of the horses is wearing like a little hat. It's like, hey.
Come back, there's like 5,000 horses, and it's like a horse town now.
Oh
great.
God.
We've been usurped.
They're all wearing.
Roscoe leads the resistance.
They're all wearing leather jackets.
Just him and Dandy in a pot.
Bryarden is 1,000 horses strong.
That'd be horrifying.
Horses come out and play.
No.
Is there an easy way across the marshes, or just?
You guys should probably find some horses.
I wouldn't.
I am a horse.
She can't. She like, but it's like, I wouldn't. The marshlands are not good for mounted travel.
So,
They sink.
what kind of gear would get us through there easier?
Patience, time, swift foot.
Everybody buy some rope and planks.
Swift foot.
We're doing this one step.
Where do I
at a
get
time.
swift foot? Is that like elbow grease? A man told me once to buy elbow grease. No one has it.
She kind of just like looks at you, just.
I'm just.
He is one of our most proficient warriors.
Sadly.
I licked the bowl. And I eyeball Dameris's bowl.
I.
Why, thank you, Dameris.
Davis has had a total about a half bowl, assume.
Yeah.
Waste not, hunt not.
This close to just eating the bowl.
I guess we're.
I'm kind of surprised you haven't asked about the city at all. I've been throwing names at you guys, and you're just like, all right.
Would you
Yeah,
recommend?
Gallatin. I don't know anything about that.
Well,
But
you
I'm gonna
would.
go with it. Oh, I do?
You would know about Gallatin to an
Okay.
extent.
What do I know about Gallatin?
You know that Gallatin is the region that you live in. It's part of the summer. It's part of the Summerlands, and it houses 8 major cities called the 8 Lights. But other than that, you don't know that much.
Hey, do you ask about the sword before we embark?
Not that word.
Okay. One dead friend later.
What's wrong with the sword?
It's
Oh, we
magic.
don't know yet.
Maybe.
But were you not there when I tried to cook Kindra?
No, he was not.
No, but we don't know it's the sword. He wasn't there.
Nice elf lady.
Yeah, my sword almost became
Yes.
cook Kindra.
Good dwarf.
But we don't know that it was.
Oh, I blush.
It was a fun time for everyone.
No, it was not. It was not fun for anyone.
Do you know any? Would you recommend any places around this fair city where we can prepare provisions and weapons and such for our journey?
Food and provisions can be found anywhere in the city.
Can I have more soup then?
She like waves down and it's come back. They just bring you like a larger bowl, like you know like those wooden salad bowls, big ones. Just kind of gives you that full of soup.
Can I have a barrel?
No.
Ah.
Can I?
No harm in asking. Am I right?
Yeah. Everyone else gets a refill if they want.
We could try to speak with Grandma, but she seems rather preoccupied.
As she very often is. She's one of the best smiths in the city.
Didn't you want to see her, Dameron?
Yeah, I wanted to ask her about my sword, but she said to come back later.
Is there some? Do you wish your sword to be mended?
No, there's. Oh, I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. It's just. I believe it's acting rather strangely lately.
Let me see.
He has like an angry face on it.
There's a frowny face drawn on it. Yeah,
Well, there's your problem.
see, you have it switched to the murder setting. You have to switch it to the nice setting. She kind of looks at it. She studies it like, this is a very old sword. Pulls it out, and it definitely moves it around. Like you can tell she's very used to weaponry. And looks at the handle. And just looks at it like this. Stabs herself. She just kind of waves it around. It seems fine. She kind of concentrates for a second. This is a very energetic sword. It has a lot of energy to it.
The energy's changed after my last battle.
I've heard of weaponry, magical ones that do that over time. Something triggers a change in the powers a sword may have. And it makes them behave differently. Perhaps they change back, perhaps they change again, and it's very hard to tell.
It gave me a vision of Corella.
She kind of holds it up close, puts it really close to her face. Oh yeah. She kind of like brings her face over, points like at the very bottom of the sword, at the very end of the handle. Look, there's a very small imprint, and that's like. That is a very old sigil of Corellan's army, as they call it.
Oh.
You have a very, very old sword.
Sweats nervously.
How did you come across this?
A lady in a lake gave it to him.
He's kingdom.
Found it in a cave.
With a box of scraps.
I did not know any of these have survived this long. Well, regardless, you have a very powerful weapon indeed. And perhaps you have the blessings of Corellan himself. Hands it to you.
Thanks.
Do you think this sword is the reason you almost killed me?
Excuse me?
That's what I was wondering about.
Things happened. We don't talk about it. Because Damaris doesn't talk about anything, huh, Damaris?
Oh, like you talked about when you died.
Oh, well, Damaris is just being a little bitch.
You know, kind of looking around like,
There's a lot to this lady to take in right now, alright?
I think he's just mad because I beat him in chess, so
You could play this game.
No, two
Freddie
times you're
Roman
gonna
there.
lose this game like you lost to
Wait,
me.
this isn't about you, John.
In a strange fit of
Everything's
berserk,
about
I know.
he
it
tried
is.
to cut her down and almost did.
I blacked out.
Yeah, he got really drunk.
No.
No.
It was the heat of battle.
That was
Bloodlust
another time, John.
Takes
Oh,
us
yeah.
all by force.
In my last battle, when I felt the energy change, I blacked out for the rest of it. And when I came to, apparently I had tried to strike Kindra down.
Accidents happen.
she kind of thinks for a second. You hear stories of the great and powerful Corellan Lotharian, creator of the elves and overseer of the Fae. And they say that he is a great protector, a great ruler, a powerful, and a great power, a god. Very few know or will say that Corellan was and is a god of warfare. That he was a powerful force in the battlefield, and he was not afraid to exert his power if need be. Perhaps your sword is blessed by Corellan, but blessed by everything Corellan stands for.
So some sort of self-preservation.
Perhaps. They do say Corellan did revel in battle.
I did accidentally hit you.
You did?
Yeah, I missed one of my shots and
Again?
I shot you.
I would be wary about who strikes you. For perhaps the sword has its own opinion on who should be struck down.
Can I fuck his ear?
Yeah, sure. Just,
Lose a jaw.
it's annoying, but it doesn't hurt.
Good thing it doesn't count with chess.
Whoa! Damn, son! Wow with the fucking roast.
I'm
dude.
sorry, who have I beaten every time?
This is my
Not
first
me.
time playing that game. Third time.
Third time.
Mhm.
Third loss.
You just
I'm
go
so
outside, you see the down, just beating John with a chess piece in each finger like Wolverine. Dun, dun, dun.
Manicus bad.
Say Bishop, what are you
Smash him with
talking
the board.
In our wonderful fantasy adventures, we're angry about chess.
That's worth going war over.
I suppose
Well,
we'll
I
see
mean-
in my next battle how the sword fares.
Hopefully better than your chest ability.
Don't walk into the moonbeam.
You know how easy it is to just lose somebody in the Feywilds? Well, so what if we go home with 6?
Where would you go?
Got him.
Zing!
Are you staying here? Or what's the deal? Fucking whipped on, bruh. Hey, do you think you can roast me? Nay, you can't.
Put my hand on my
Down to the
sword.
ground, bro.
We still
Lightning just strikes you.
smite. We still have to work together to get the
It's
ring.
okay, I'll just use my moonbeam, that's fine.
Oh, cool. So can I.
Too.
And so can Lau.
I'm not helping you.
Looks
roast
like we
him.
got ourselves a Mexican standoff.
What does that mean?
What's a Mexico?
Mexican moonbeam.
What does that mean?
A moonbeam standoff.
I don't want to moonbeam any of you.
Got him. No one.
Believe it or not, I don't.
I slurp my soup. No, let's be civil.
Drinking your salad bowl full of soup.
You're gonna have to go to the bathroom for days. It's like we're heading towards the bar. There's Dabrits, I have to pee.
Bathroom?
Oh wait, his
That's what a bush is for.
Bathroom?
wait no, his little house thingamabobber. What's that?
It's not gonna be used as a restroom.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a porta potty.
You're a porta potty.
It actually does not have a restroom in it.
No, it is the restroom.
Oh, is that where you're
You
gonna
could just
be?
make an outhouse.
It's pronounced an uthus.
No, it's not.
It is, and it's my uthus, so I say it's called an uthus.
Elf lady.
Should we find an inn or something?
I mean, nice
You're
lady.
welcome to stay here as long as you like.
I wouldn't want to impose.
This is not my only home.
Well, thank you for your hospitality.
Damn, you got multiple houses?
that could be us.
Elf lady, do you and the Silver Song ever encounter like threats about in the area? Like bad dudes and Reagans and such?
Very rarely.
Thieves of rings, many chance.
I don't know if you heard his song.
We'll find the ring.
I have not personally encountered any outsiders recently. Mostly small time crime, theft, petty squabbles. Occasionally there are bigger disagreements between the neighboring 8 lights, but normally things are kept peaceful here.
Are all the inhabitants of the other cities mostly also elf people?
The other of the 8 lights? Yes.
Mostly elves. Majority elves. Okay. That's cool. You know any dwarves in this city?
He's new to interacting with elves.
Personally, I've not met any dwarves here, but I can't imagine why there wouldn't be any.
Yeah. I mean, if there was a couple more stone-looking buildings, that's
Will we be passing another one of the lights on the way towards the arrow?
The arrow of Corellin is at the center of the 8 lights, so I doubt you will pass through any. Perhaps a smaller village here and there, but more than likely not.
Perhaps you should use your trumpet to play a Dwarven song in the town center.
Yes.
For what?
Is
It worked for me.
is it just your day today to make bad decisions for everyone?
I mean,
Rogar,
the
why are
song
you
idea
doing
brought
this?
her to us, so.
Yeah.
That's a wondrous idea, Rogar. I will play the nice lady a song. Our good friend
What
John
kind of joy do you get?
has been teaching me how to
it's
play.
advancing the story.
Show
Got John
Padawan.
to show us the elven lady.
That's true.
She has a name.
I pull
What's
up
her name?
my
Kindra.
Her name.
No, without looking at the
It's Kendar.
Nope.
Kendari.
Nope.
No.
Kendra.
No.
Nope.
Andre.
It sounds like Kendall Jenner, but it's Kendar.
No.
It's Kendare.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No.
Kender.
Is this a different person that we're talking about?
She has a name, John.
I even wrote it down.
Wow, you wanted to bang her and you can't even remember her name.
Kindara.
Don't remind me.
Try sleeping them all.
Don't remind me.
I
It's Kindra.
grab with a flourish my candlestick holder, which I believe is a trumpet, and I forget which end to blow in because it's a fucking candlestick holder. So I just blow into it. In the most elegant way possible. And
You sound great.
Kindra kind of looks like.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's the song of his people.
dwarf song.
Good
Very
Sir
good.
Flank. Do you realize you're attempting to play
No,
a
it's a beautiful trumpet.
My friends all tell me it's a trumpet, and I'm inclined to believe them.
She kind of looks at Kindra, just. You have very fine horn skills. Good flank, sir.
My tender keeps telling me it's a candlestick holder, but what does he know, right?
He's a rock.
Yeah. No.
Our most
Yeah,
proficient
sure.
warrior.
I have no doubt.
I go back to drinking my soup.
Is there anything else I can help you
We hear the Silver Song have the best weapons in the city. Do you perhaps have anything to procure for us for our drink?
They would not sell to us.
with? It is not permitted in the city to sell weaponry to outsiders or civilians, unfortunately.
What
Perhaps
about
a
outside the
gift
city?
then.
Perhaps a gift.
What if we met up outside of the city?
yeah, I mean,
I do not know what I can offer in terms of weaponry, but I can see what I can have done. She kind of gets up and she walks over to what is more or less like a closet, and she opens it up and it's like a walk-in closet, and you see just a wall full of swords,
Damn.
and daggers,
just the little things.
spears.
That's my mom.
She kind of looks, picks up a couple,
Reminds me of my parents.
grabs it, and she pulls it. And these are less like long swords and more like scimitars. They have this long hook curve at the end. The handles, the hilts, it's all beautiful, almost white gold filigree. Kind of swings it. As soon as you can hear the air like behind her kind of slice through, she just.
Fancy.
Perhaps I can offer this as a welcoming gift,
Okay.
if you should so wish. She hands it over to John. I trust you.
We trust
No. Yoink.
Baby. It's so cute.
She goes to hand it towards him. We all reach for it.
I don't know why you all want new weapons. You all have like new weapons and magic shit.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You have a stick that turns into a snake.
Yeah. I have a sword of Corellan's army. Get fucked.
My axe makes my nose bleed.
It's not the axe's fault.
There's
Could I get a shield by any chance?
She kind of looks in her closet.
You can play it like a guitar somehow.
She plays like a bongo.
It's like how Farah plays guitar with her. I am the record queen.
I don't think bards can use shields.
Can I throw shields?
Throw.
You can,
I'll be like Captain America.
you can throw them as well as you can throw anything else, I assume.
Could I get practice and become proficient in it?
Not necessarily, no.
He's good at trench digging.
You have a shovel.
perhaps a finely elven-made shovel. Standard issue, silver song.
Can I get
Those you can actually buy from a store.
It will be called the Gardeners.
Do you have a
the
hat in there?
gardeners of virtue?
A hat.
He
The
doesn't need
Gardeners
another
of
hat.
Virtue
He definitely needs another hat.
will weed out the evil.
Those you can purchase yourself, if you should so wish.
Okay.
If you could help us find the ring, I'd really appreciate it.
Of course.
Are you
Struggles
okay?
so hard to get.
Are you having a stroke? Are you
Okay.
okay?
Ooh.
She's just being
Ooh.
difficult.
Can Rowan come with us?
Yes. Can we bring my son?
It's not your son.
That's my son.
It's not as
Can
You
we
just
borrow
met
him?
him an hour ago.
And I love him like my child already. Is that not a sign?
I can see if I can have him be a guide for you.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, that would be
Really
helpful.
Appreciate it. I put my hand on top of her and be like, thank you.
Stop hitting on her mom.
Your parents are very attractive. I'm sorry.
I understand. Kind of.
Nobody flirt with my parents.
Sorry.
Hey, nobody first with mine either.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
You're dead.
It'd be kind of weird if we did.
Yeah. I don't want any of y'all near my parents.
Like,
Necrophilia.
so- really weird.
Somewhere there's an opportunistic necromancer. We'll see about
You
this.
motherfucker!
Literally.
I will kill you.
Hey, I've waited 15 years for this.
God.
Please, man.
That'd be like our funny Halloween plot.
That's gonna be our holiday special. Life Day.
No. We don't speak of it.
These guys probably celebrate Life Day.
Yeah, probably the thing.
So,
What's the elven version for Christmas?
Life Day.
every day is
Like,
Christmas.
There's no.
It's just
There
like
are,
a solstice
there-
thing.
there's no seasons.
Great Tree Day.
Not in the Vic.
It is.
Well,
It
elves
is.
still have cultural.
Yeah, it is the land of eternal twilight.
Feel more like the Vapor Nation.
Shut up.
Now then, if there's anything else you need, I'll be sure to try and help. But I do have matters to attend to.
Yes, thank you for your time. And for the dinner.
Of course. And if you need anything, you can ask the handmaidens, and I'll be sure to help.
Thank you.
I want to be the last one to walk out. And
Well, she's leaving.
Can you
Oh.
get out of bed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My leg's fine.
Do you want soup?
Yeah, yeah, Kindra kind of steps out
I
to do her business.
kind of follow her
Mm-hmm.
and I avoid eye contact as I kind of like reach out and stop her.
Okay.
And I tell her, you need to see Dad. He's fine. You just need to see him.
She kind of smiles for a little bit. When you return from the era of Corellin, which I assume you will, I will travel with you, and you will go see your father together.
I don't know if I necessarily wanted to beat. Okay.
What?
This is the best you're gonna get.
Okay.
So she walks out. You walk back into the house where everyone's sitting. And you finally do notice that Flank seems to have a pile of bowls next to him.
Are those your new hats, Flank?
Not a bad idea.
The stack of bowls, Flank. Are these your new hats?
I take the stack of bowls and walk with them. Just walk with them out. No one's stopping me, right?
You see one of the handmaids kind of just pick them up from you.
I'm like, I like, no, I'll take the bowls.
Isn't that thievery?
Can he keep one?
Yes, one is
You
fine.
can keep one.
Can I also keep one?
No, only Flank. He's the one who collects weird things.
I take one bowl, and they're like, okay.
You take a big bowl or a small bowl?
Big bowl.
Okay.
Can I use sleight of hand this?
No, we're not stealing from the Feywilds.
You
Yeah,
can
is
try.
that-
No, I'm okay.
We're chasing down
Thank
these
you, Kendra.
I got you.
Alright, so it's time in the Feywild. You have a place to stay, you're full of soup, especially Flank. what do you want to do?
I want to talk to John.
I mean, you're all in the house is more or less like a single room. There's a small alcove area for a bed, closet, but it is effectively like a studio or a loft. It has an outdoor patio with railings this time.
They made sure to install those just for me.
I'm gonna go out on the patio.
Okay.
I want to talk to you privately, John.
What's going on?
With everything going on recently,
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about everything that's happened.
Yes.
And I know I already kind of apologized for this before, but I just want to apologize again for avoiding you
That's fine.
a long time ago
It's all
when,
good.
you told me you liked me, and then I just kind of avoided you, and then just,
That's fine.
I
It happens.
didn't really know how to deal with it, and I wasn't really emotionally ready. And I'm sorry.
That's fine.
And
It's all good. Hey, you buzz me, Milana. Boom. It's all good.
I know. I'm just grateful that you've always been nice, and I'm glad that you're my friend.
Likewise. This is the squad.
You want to smoke weed?
Hell yeah. I'll make a fat ass J.
You just pack your pipe super fucking tight.
Where is this our housing located again?
Up
Wait, hold on.
up a tree.
I cast Leomon's tiny hut, and we hotbox it.
There is no. You can't change the size of the hut. It is always like 10 feet in diameter.
Can I set it outside the balcony next to the railing?
There's enough space in that area.
Can it defy gravity?
No.
You could just go smoke out on the balcony.
I want to hotbox it. It's fine. Whatever. We'll just smoke
Put burlap sacks over your head.
it.
No, don't.
That's not a
No,
bad idea.
that's terrible. Fall over it.
You just hear this woof and thud.
Can I put my head inside my bag of holding?
I would not advise that.
You can't breathe in there.
It is void. It is space in there.
Damaris, would you like to partake?
No, thank you.
I
You
blow
need to
smoke-
chill, man.
I blow smoke in his face. I'm like, peer pressure.
I'm going back inside.
How far would it take me to go down the tree?
What?
How long would how long would it take for me to
Pretty fun.
descend the tree?
Oh, so like just walk down?
No,
Yeah.
if we threw him.
if you threw them, about 20 seconds. If you walked about, I don't know, maybe a minute or two.
I've been falling.
No, maybe
for
about 5
30
minutes.
Okay. I go down.
So you want
Okay.
to go the throwing route or the walking route?
I'm walking like I'm rolling.
Like Mario.
Like a slinky just slowly crawling down the stairs.
I'm going downstairs. I'm gonna shove a bunch of dirt in my pocket.
Okay. You have a pocket full of dirt.
Bring me some. Flank, get me some dirt
How many
too.
pockets do I have?
Pockets
Does
too?
that matter
Okay.
anymore?
I have 2 pockets full of dirt.
And 2 pops?
Thanks, Flank.
Alright.
Do I see any other knickknacks on the floor?
Make an investigation check.
Dirt is a knickknack.
Anything could be a knickknack.
Rogar, what?
Can I walk around the city to see if there's any shops that sell adventuring gear?
Yeah, sure.
3.
You're just shoveling dirt into your pockets. Fine.
Are those
Willy
new
nilly.
too? Or-
Wait, do I bump into Rogar while he's coming down?
You do. Strogar's walking down.
Do I
Roger.
see him shoveling dirt?
You just see him just pockets fat and full of dirt. Very like.
Rogar, do you need dirt? I saw this really cool thing Kendra did.
I think to myself, That question's probably par for the course, but I'm okay for it.
Where are you going off to?
I'm gonna see if I can buy some adventuring gear.
Yeah, let me get. Can I come along?
Yeah, you stroke. Flanks up as a stroke. Falls down.
Also par for the course. Yes, let's go.
Alright, I go along with Rogar.
Okay.
For adventuring gear.
Now what are you doing?
I guess I'll go down too, but I guess I'll look around and maybe look for druid scribbles if there are any around here.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Right.
Lau was here.
It's like, hi Lau, love Elowin.
Lau, if you're reading this,
Probably.
You find another Chandra line. Hey, do you know this guy?
Six.
6.
Nothing.
There doesn't seem to be any druid speak listed on here.
I'm just gonna wander
You're
around
so
the
Kindra,
city,
so
and if
why is
something
it-
I don't know what will grab my attention.
The first thing that got your attention is that everyone is looking at you.
Well, okay then. I'm gonna put on my glasses and roll up my hood and like hide.
Damn us, more like damn that only thinks about himself. Right?
Then you come with me.
I need to go look for Lau. 'Cause
Okay.
I just noticed he was missing.
You will literally
and-
see a black piece of pepper on the ground walking around. You'll see
Offer
me.
him
Like
the
I'm not that hard to find.
You-
Denied me.
You do find them pretty
I really want to
quickly.
let him out of my sight.
You find them pretty quickly. Just hood up, glasses on, but you recognize the shape. The two of you end up catching up with Rogar and Flank.
Okay.
Could I cast invisibility and follow Damrus, like blowing smoke into his nostrils as we walk?
I'm gonna pretend not to see that.
Sure.
I'm not involved in this.
Make a stealth check.
Oh dear.
John just
18.
disappears, and I'm just like, okay.
Yep. You're just with Kallista now on the fucking roof. Okay, so you find Damaris. You inhale a little bit of smoke.
Cast
And-
invisibility.
Cast invisibility. So I'm just, and suddenly you're just hit with this huge, intense smell of like pipe weed.
I know he's done this before, so I'm gonna elbow him in the face.
I dodge.
Just make a basic attack.
Because you've pulled this so many times.
Not specifically blowing weed on people,
Investigation.
though.
No, make a basic attack. Melee it. Yeah, make a melee attack.
Just roll for an attack.
Did you roll a 1?
The guy who sold us the dice is a swindler. He swindled us good.
As you blow smoke into Damaris' face, you see his arm kind of swing outward in your direction, but you're able to like dodge it, and like right as the hand's like going past you, just kind of like.
I'm blind on that side. It's not fair.
Are you okay? Was it a fly?
Fuck off, John.
Can I blow more smoke?
Sure.
I see the smoke, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you can see this little tufts of
Damn
smoke.
Yeah,
it.
you could
Damaris is
fucking
being
smell
cyberbullied.
weed.
Right.
I wonder who was just smoking.
Could I pull his pants down?
I will stab you.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Is he wearing
Oh, shit!
I'm going to stab you.
19.
armor? Wait, isn't he wearing armor?
I'm wearing armor.
19, bitch.
Okay. So as you kind of grab the side of his pants, you tug, but his pants are kind of cinched together with his armor right now.
Can I touch
So you just
Damaris to
kind of come up behind Damaris, kind of grab him by the
Just
side,
grabbing my dick.
and tug.
Yeah.
You just gotta pull him onto you, and at that point your invisibility flips out, and
I got
Damaris,
19.
you, Damaris, you just fall on. You're just on John's lap at this point.
John, if you wanted to get me in your lap, you could have asked.
Smoke weed.
Oh, hi, John.
I throw sand in his face.
Oh,
and I'll
hi,
run away.
Johnny.
I mean, he's still sitting on you.
I throw more sand in his face so he
Oh,
gets
punch.
off me and then I'll run away.
Okay.
I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Let's not
All right,
fight.
just as you're throwing her, just whack right across the side of your head.
Wow.
And then
Are we
I'm-
having a scene right now?
Would
A
you
little
roll
bit.
for that? Do you have enough confidence
Do
in
I
the dice
hear
rolls
that?
to roll for that?
No, you're still up
From the
Up on the
balcony,
tree.
you
Yeah,
could
but I
probably
mean,
see
I
me.
can't hear a punch.
You could probably see me sitting on top of John and punching him in the face.
On one of them.
I'm trying to think like, how well can you see what's on the floor on the 5th floor of a building?
Maybe she
Pretty
could
well.
find. Maybe she could find a
Pretty
pair of binoculars
Well, it's
that are already
nighttime,
in
too.
there.
I watch people hang out.
Isn't she have
Twilight.
Yeah.
Two bros chilling in a hot tub.
Yeah.
5 feet apart.
What's wrong with
because
this?
they're
Just
not
guys
gay.
being
That's
dudes.
fair. Yeah, yeah. Again, you see this scene of you probably imagine to be your friends, and like a small crowd kind of gathering around them as one shape in kind of brighter white colors. It's just
Can I try? Like, I don't know. I'm staring at all this. It's kind of ironic because you're like the one in control, and I'm just
so
standing
confused
here.
how
and I'm like,
when
oh,
I
dark
rolled
as
a
hell.
19,
I
Because
mean,
he was wearing armor.
nine-
There weren't pants to pull down.
he wasn't necessarily wearing.
Do you know how hard it is to take the pants
I know.
off?
do you see how many away from a 20 that is?
No.
That is a one
But it
differential.
also wasn't.
Have you
in
seen
it.
a paladin?
Well, it wasn't, but I mean,
Damaris and Lau caught up with
still,
Kroger.
he didn't even roll for it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we work
Bullshit.
together. And
This
like,
is rigged.
I'm gonna go over and try to stop Damaris from destroying.
Yeah, I
John's
kind of
face.
like fumbled down the
I only punched
stairs.
him once.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were pummeling his
No.
face.
Make a athletics check.
No, I only punched him once. 'Cause
Okay.
man.
I'm rolling to restrain.
don't get smacked in
Roll
the
for a
process.
There you go. Plus 1 again. Plus 6, I believe. Plus 5. It is 18.
Okay. As you kind of situate yourself and you're pulling your arm back after hitting John, you just feel yourself kind of being picked up, and you look and you see that Flank had just kind of grabbed you from like the back of your neck and like the scruff and like the back of your pants and just picked you up over his head,
I cast invisibility on myself and run away.
put you down.
You don't need
I know.
Thanks, Flink.
but okay.
I just go fuck off. Run away.
I know where you're sleeping.
I
Let
finally
it go,
get down
Damaris.
there.
Yeah, I'm gone.
I finally get down
John's just like one of them whatchamacallits, dragon fairies. He's just the
That's why I want one.
Scab.
I hate them.
They look kind of
That's your last second level spell of the day.
Cool.
I finally get down.
I
I'm
go to
like
sleep.
panting and shit. Timorous, what was that about?
John's a piece of shit.
What did he do? Oh, he did the thing, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did the thing.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe
I was
John's
just
lashing
up
out
there
for
and then he was
attention.
gone and I didn't know what happened.
So adventure gear. Remember that was
Yes.
the.
Yeah, if John ever disappears, especially after smoking, assume he used invisibility because it's what he does every fucking time.
I go back upstairs and I go to sleep.
You just run upstairs, pass out on the
Yeah.
floor,
Rest of the night, Damaris is like on high guard. It's like fucking John.
just sword out.
John's like, I'm fine.
What you do is you make like a circle of like sand or dirt or salt or something like that. Just if it moves.
What, salty? Yeah, he is.
Okay, so you find like kind of like the crafting vendors area, and people that are selling things like little tools and little games, little not knickknacks, but like home supplies, plates, bowls, small tools. You find some weavers that are making clothing, things along those lines. So what exactly are you looking for?
Potions or general like venturing gear.
You can find most of the gear kind of everywhere. So just what specifically?
Like the Feywild version of Big Five.
Bay 5.
Fay 5. It's kind of like an outdoor market. So if there's anything you need, you can find things like clothing, robes, shirts, pants, small tools. If you want to go, if you like wood carving tools, cooking tools, painting, calligraphy, cobbling, leatherworking, little game sets, cards, chess, dice. It's dirt. You can just grab dirt. You can get that anywhere the hell.
Anybody can have dirt.
There's like just a official dirt vendor.
So
You don't want it in that ground
who
dirt.
is here? Like what? You're
Not
asleep.
me. I'm
Everyone,
Callista's
everyone,
also-
Upstairs.
everyone except Kallista and John.
Okay.
So the 5 of you.
And I actually have to have.
Okay, which is good. That's perfect.
Bye, Queen. Bye bye.
Take this.
Yes.
See, it's all planned out. Like you wanted to fuck with you right before going to sleep.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's why you want to mess with Damas. Well,
No,
probably
he just
not.
does that anyway.
He always wants to fucking mess with Tamara.
It's a wonderful exit, though.
Alright, see you then.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. I'll see you guys. What's the
Yeah, 7th, I think.
Okay.
7th.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Okay.
So look at hats.
There aren't as many hats necessarily as you've been led to believe. They're mostly like cloth, things like scarves, bandanas, circlets, tiaras, things like that.
I browse disappointedly.
Their pickaxe.
Pickaxe. You want a pickaxe?
Yes.
He wants to learn how to mine.
I hope.
There doesn't seem to be any mining tools necessarily. These are more like artistry tools, artisans' tools, small crafts.
I look for wood carving tools.
Okay. You find them. There's some woodworking tools. Small chisels and hammers, small knives for whittling. You can find a set of wood carving tools for about 4 crescents.
Okay. I pick up. What is it like? Little babies, beginners.
Yeah, it's like a leather pouch, like a leather folding pouch that has like a small chisel, a small mallet, a small pick. Well, not a pick, like small chisel, a hammer, a small whittling knife.
What about fishing rods?
Yeah, you can actually find a fishing rod. They're about maybe 2 crescents.
Ooh, I want one.
Okay, I'll take
Okay.
Me too.
Now you both get fishing rods.
Yay! It'll be like Animal Crossing.
Mm.
Look, I got a dart.
Now we just fish
And-
for sharks and just sell them for bells.
You know, the player says puns when they catch fish in the game.
Yeah.
You're just gonna find a lot of
Hey!
carts with feet
Yeah.
actually still in them.
Just a lot of krakens.
So Damaris, what are you looking for?
Not looking for anything.
Want to take a walk?
Is that what we're doing?
Okay.
Can you
How many
relax?
crescents was it?
2.
Okay.
Okay, so Damaris and Kindra are gonna have their private time.
So,
So you met your mother.
yeah, it was bad. It went real bad.
Could have gone better.
Probably, yeah.
Is that both parents in a week?
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming when you think about it. I
Like
know
a month.
shit's been really overwhelming lately for everybody.
It's been a bad month.
Has not been easy, no. And I know we haven't really made it any easier for you.
No.
You know we only do it because we're worried.
Oh yeah, that's why John does everything he does.
He's dumb, but he means well.
Should have punched him twice.
No, you shouldn't have.
You know he deserves. He hit on your mom. You can't be okay with that.
No. But again, he's really dumb.
He hit on a lot of people today.
Yeah,
And adopted a guard.
that was really weird.
The
and out of left
400-year-old guard.
field. Yeah, did not see that one coming.
Felt like he didn't want to.
In the list of things I see John doing, that was not one of them.
Sudden paternal instincts.
performing in front of everybody, that was kind of on the list.
That was normal.
But adopting a grown man, that was new.
Is there a place where we could immediately use our fishing rods?
Not immediately in the city, but you imagine there are small ponds or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It seems that the principal meat in this area is fish, so you imagine there's a place to fish somewhere.
Can I buy a bag of ball bearings?
What?
Excuse me?
You said adventuring gear
Um,
and various oddities, so yeah, I want to buy a bag of ball bearings.
make an investigation check.
It talks like Kuwabara, because his name. God
damn it, 5.
There doesn't seem to be any ball bearings currently.
How about trinkets and figurines that I can hang on my axe?
There's still small wood carved toys and figures.
Describe them to me.
They're shaped like small, they're little elven designs, almost like kind of like how.
Don't tell me it's like Elf on the Show.
No, Christ no.
Do they have
No,
Do they have it?
they are their own elves on shelves. No, there's like small like Celtic sigils and things like that, just stuff like that, small sigils and symbols and
Okay.
little like animal shapes, like little fox heads and cat heads or whatever.
Describe the animals that are available for purchase.
There's like a raven. There's like a little fox.
Okay.
You know what he's looking for.
There's no, there are no rabbits.
I wasn't aiming for that to be.
There's no what are they called? Almirages.
I wasn't thinking that either. I was just thinking about normal animals. Not to say that almirages and rabbits aren't normal animals. No, you can say monkey.
You want a monkey one?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm
For the
fine.
porcupine one?
Okay. So far, you said
no porcupine one. There's small animals that don't seem like necessarily native to the material plane, so you don't necessarily know what they are. There's a little dragon head one.
buy all of them.
They're a crest and a piece, sure, why not?
Say, I got a dragon one.
You got
I got a raven one.
You got a dragon, a raven, and a cat.
You said fox.
Fox.
Fox. Okay.
Yeah, dragon, raven, fox. Anyway,
Guess
Kindra,
that
Damaris.
too.
Yes. Do you feel better knowing that it's got something to do with your sword?
No, I don't feel better.
I mean, at least you know kind of what it is. Sort of. You know it wasn't your fault.
What if you hadn't stopped me?
I mean, that's the thing that we're always gonna be there.
I suppose it'd help if you didn't shoot me again.
Sometimes I make mistakes. Yeah.
I still don't know if it is the sword, but it seems like the logical. Because I went pit fighting without it, and I was fine. So it's not the circlet.
Your shield doesn't have any magical proponents, does it?
No, it's just a dragon shield.
Oh, okay.
But now that I know the sword is apparently from fucking Corellan's army,
Yikes, right.
I wish I'd left it in the cave.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility.
I just hope we don't meet him.
Why are you scared of meeting him?
Because I'm nothing in comparison. I try to follow what I think are his teachings, and I don't feel like I measure up at all.
I don't think they'd think that. I mean, and that kind of, how those things usually go is, there's the guy who like spends his whole life like in pursuit of some greater good, and they always think they're no good, and then they meet the person and they're like, you're not actually as shitty as you think, because, you know, you've been trying to do the right thing all along, and, you know?
I don't assume to know how the gods think.
I mean, there's stories.
I do want to say I think it's a bad idea to be pursuing the arrow.
What are your fears about it?
I think I know who's trying to destroy it.
Oh. That's bad. Who do you think it is?
Doesn't matter, but we're no match for him.
Should we ask for my mom's help?
Can you try that one more time?
Should we ask for my mom's help? I'm sorry, it's really hard.
I feel like you might have a stroke just trying to ask her.
That's why I have you guys, right? You guys ask, and then I just make my puppy eyes, and she says yes.
Would it really be so bad to get to know her again?
Well, I'm already gonna be traveling with her when we go back, so I have that to look forward to.
Oh no, a happy family. Poor you.
I don't know,
You know your dad will be happy to see her.
that's why I told her she needs to see.
Aren't you happy that your dad will be happy?
Yes. Doesn't change our complicated relationship, though.
No, but you can try to make something new out of it.
We'll see how the family reunion traveling goes, I guess.
If we live.
We'll live. We always do, don't we?
Suppose I do have 2 revive scrolls still. I miss Tarlock.
Yeah, he was cool. He brought me back to life when I died.
Yeah?
You keep bringing that up.
Because you're not coming to terms with it.
I kind of have. I just didn't talk about it because I didn't even know what I was.
For like a good week.
I didn't even know what I was feeling. I just shut down. I didn't know how to talk about it. I mean, what would I say? I died and it's weird. That's kind of it. And, you know, eventually I got used to it, and it's just the fact, and it's part of the past, and it's whatever. And, like, I don't understand why you beat yourself up so much about everything you've done, because we and all the other people, your parents, and no one cares about that anymore. It's what you're doing that's, and what you're doing is nothing. You're just wallowing, and I think that's what frustrates everyone the most, is you're so terrified.
Trying to protect you guys, and that's nothing. The first day we met, you asked me to come along on your journey and protect you. and Kallista and all the others, and I promised my sword and shield to you. And I have tried to do everything in my power to uphold that.
But you're still avoiding us. You've pledged your sword and everything, but...
Because I've still failed that promise. That's why I keep reminding you that you died, because I failed.
I don't blame you.
Well, I blame myself.
I just wish you wouldn't.
That's not how it works.
What does this even do? Just blaming yourself for things that were out of your control?
I can't just shrug and say, okay, one of my best friends died, but I'll get over it. I can accept that I made a mistake, and I can try to do better every other battle we have.
But that's not what you're focusing on. You're focusing on your failure. And all your failures.
You can't just wipe them away.
I know. But you can't just think about them all the time, always, forever, because then you'll just be stuck. Which is what you are. You're stuck. Were we there when he had to talk with his parents?
No.
Okay. You just don't really know what you're doing.
And you do?
Of course not.
So
You heard my... I know you
really
heard
want
my
to talk.
mom. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along, because that's all I can do.
Well, you figure yourself out, and I'll figure myself out.
Doesn't mean we have to, do it separately, though. We can help each other. I mean, when you tried to kill me and John stepped in and stopped you, that's kind of what we're always going to do. We're always going to step in and try to help each other.
We shouldn't be trying to kill each other in the first place.
That wasn't your fault. You didn't know. It was a mistake.
We should meet up with the others.
Okay.
You come back to the other three that are shopping, and you realize that Flank has his bowl, his salad bowl, and it's just filled with just shit, just stuff, just food, dried fish.
I remember buying that.
Did you get more dirt?
There's a layer of dirt at the bottom of the bowl.
Can we
It's
get
like
good
a garbage
dress?
salad.
You have your woodworking kit. Rovar, pick dice, cards, or juggling.
Well, two of those are a noun. One of them is an action.
But they're all three words. Pick the word.
Cards.
Juggle.
Juggling.
Okay, fine. You can take the juggling one.
Oh, okay.
After being more or less kind of hard sold by these very nice and very, very, very nice elves who had big smiles on their face and could hear the jingling of your pockets, they're able to sell the two of you some kind of game sets. Rogar, you got a very nice, more or less a deck of cards that are all hand painted and hand etched, each card. Very pretty. Lau, you got these, hand sewn, colored dyed leather set of juggling balls,
Oh, okay.
which you still don't know how to juggle yet, but
No,
but seeing the action of them juggling was so enticing.
okay. I'll just.
So, Darius and Kindra, you come back, you see Rogar, you're kind of just in disbelief on why you actually bought this. You know, like when you're at the mall or something, or you're walking around and someone just happens to just browbeat you with talking, and you just buy something.
Do I have control of transferring heat?
No, you're not Gambit. No, I knew exactly where you were going with that, and no, you're not Gambit. You can't channel kinetic energy into your card.
How about just setting his card on fire? Or, I mean, I guess you could just. I don't know.
I will allow that you can technically use any object as an arcane focus, so it means to channel your magical energy. I will allow that when you cast a spell, you can channel it through a card.
Hey, you can use my juggly sacky sack. It's heavier, so you can actually throw flaming.
So you can throw magic missiles with
Using
cards. Yes.
Just make yourself look cool.
I only have 52 magic missiles.
I mean, you can also channel it through a wand, a staff, whatever that, but it doesn't matter what you choose as an arcane focus.
Well, but what I mean is the nature of a card deck is that's limited.
Yeah, but the idea is what you can use anything, more or less anything that has some sort of magical energy in it as an arcane focus. Mm-hmm. So even if you run out of cards, you can just use a staff and just magic missile.
No, I get that, but as a card deck, it can be used up.
Yes.
What
yes. So if you specifically want to use cards as an arcane focus, you would have to buy more.
It's like after the battle, he has to pick up all the pieces. No, that's not.
No, they're like gambits. They kind of.
All right.
Well, I gotta go anyways.
Okay. We'll say for the sake of time and brevity that you spend your time shopping and you make your way back up to the house and just have a night's sleep. Hopefully, able to figure out and plan what you want to do next, and possibly travel to the Arrow of Corellin Letharian.